Chapter 9:24. Yemo takes no share. Chapter 9:24. Yemo takes no share. The formations were all occupied now. That southern golden core state tertiary stage cultivator saw that there were still about 20 people who hadn't gotten on, but he was sure that no one else would dare to challenge Yemo. He could only say, since there's enough people now, let's all activate the teleportation formation with our cultivation essence. The 7 formations were activated at the same time. Each formation flashed with a wave of white light and formed the spoon-shaped constellation. Rumbled, the formation was activated, and when the white light disappeared, all the people in the formation had disappeared along with it. People outside looked at the formation in admiration. They knew they didn't have any more chance, and so they left. Only a few stayed. Han Chinya looked bleakly at the formation and had a sliver of coldness in his eyes. He then left on his flying spirit artifact. No one from his sect had gotten in, so he wasn't going to let all those people get the good things inside for free. He would give them a huge surprise after they came out. However, if Han Chinya knew that the exit from the secret land wasn't there, perhaps he wouldn't do this. Yemo guessed that this secret land would be a huge plain or spirit herb garden, but when he arrived, he realized that it was a valley. The valley was filled with mist, and nothing could be seen. Their spirit sense couldn't scan anything either. There was only a small room in the valley. There seemed to be 7 restriction formations on the small wooden room. What was inside couldn't be seen. Yemo didn't find any spirit herbs nearby. He immediately guessed that all the good things would be inside the restriction. This place might consist of 7 spirit herb gardens. Those few golden core state tertiary stage and peak stage cultivators rushed towards that small wooden room as there was nothing else around. A golden core state level 5 saw this and said in disappointment, "There's nothing here. It seems this place isn't some secret land." Another cultivator said, "Perhaps the good things are inside the restrictions. Let's try to break through. Everyone, don't move." The golden core state peak stage cultivator, who had gone inside, came back out. Clearly, they didn't find anything in the small wooden room. Almost everyone looked at the 7 restrictions outside the room. They all guessed that there must be good things inside there. Yemo frowned. He was thinking that since there was no portal, how would they get out? There's no teleportation formation out of here. Yemo wasn't the only one who noticed this. Zhiqiushui also realized it. Immediately, everyone started thinking about the problem. How were they going to get out? Suddenly, a southern golden core state level 3 cultivator pointed at the misty area outside the valley. Perhaps this place is just a place inside the desert plain herb valley. If we pass that mist, then we might be able to get out. I'll go test it out. Careful! The mist might be poisonous, someone reminded. The golden core state cultivator laughed. "I know, of course." He put up a cultivation essence barrier and checked his spirit artifact armor before approaching the mist carefully. He thought he should be safe like that. If he still felt any danger, he would retreat immediately. As the cultivator neared the mist, nothing seemed to happen, and everyone rested easy. It seemed this was just ordinary mist. They might be able to get out if they passed through it. But the next moment, everyone looked at where the man stood in disbelief because he had suddenly vanished. A few breaths later, there was a terrified howl, and the mist returned to its serenity. Just a few breaths' time, and a golden core state cultivator was gone. Everyone's face went bleak. This place didn't seem to be some secret land, more like a death valley. "Perhaps we can fly out." Another golden core state tertiary stage broke the solemn silence and said. Yemo sneered in contempt and didn't say anything. He knew there were flight restrictions there the moment he came in. "Try flying then," another cultivator sneered. Clearly he knew it too. "Let's break these 7 restrictions first. After all, there's this large area not covered by the mist. Even if we can't go out, after the 3 months are up, we will be teleported out anyway," Lui Wedang said. "What if we don't get teleported out after the 3 months?" Someone else immediately asked. A golden core state level 8 from the God Sword sect rebuked. Since this is still inside the Desert Plain Herb Valley, then we should just normally be teleported out after 3 months. The Southern Golden Core State Peak Stage cultivator slowly shook his head. However, the cultivators inside the Desert Plain Herb Valley will be transported out, but not anyone who is here. Why? Some people asked immediately. The Golden Core State Peak Stage cultivator replied coldly, because that's what the map I got said. We must get out before the Herb Valley closes, or else. The man didn't finish his words, but everyone knew what he meant. The immortal Herb Valley had the most people with them. For people, the God Sword sect had 2. One was Yuan Ting at the Golden Core State Level 8, and the other was Shiman Ji at the Golden Core State Level 5. Shi Qiushui was brought in by Yuan Ting. There had been another formation taken by the northern side, but Yi Mo didn't know any of the 3 on that one. One of the people that were on it was at the Golden Core State Peak Stage, like Lu Yuedang. Seeing Yi Mo look at that person, Guang Wei whispered to Yi Mo, "He's Ji's Yuan, from the Ghost Immortal sect. With him are Guba and Wenren Tian, who are also from his sect." Guang Wei's voice was quiet, but Ji's Yuan seemed to have heard her as he glanced at her. Guang Wei quickly looked down and said to Yi Mo, "I'll be going to my martial sister." Yi Mo nodded and didn't mind. Yi Mo felt that this man was the one who gave him the greatest feeling of threat. No matter what, let's break the restrictions here first. Ji Han suddenly changed the topic. Everyone reacted. They had come there to find spirit herbs, and perhaps there would be some in the restrictions. The other Golden Core State Peak Stage from the south nodded in agreement. "I agree with Brother Ji's proposal. No matter what, we have to break these restrictions first. But there's 20 people here. How will we split the restrictions?" The first Southern Golden Core State Peak Stage cultivator walked up to one of the formations, saying, "Us 2 will take one." They had 3 people before, but now it was just the 2 of them. Then he waved to the person he brought with him. The immortal Herb Valley Senior martial sister brought the other 3 people from her sect, and also occupied one. Ji Yuanji and Yuan Ting took one as well. Because of Yi Mo's limited power, he didn't try to take a restriction, and it was taken by a South Peace State Golden Core State Level 8 cultivator. The South only had 8 people, yet took 4 restrictions. The only ones without a restriction were Yi Mo and the Qiu Xuanyu, who had come in with him. Chapter 9:25. The Crazy Herb Garden. Chapter 9:25. The Crazy Herb Garden. The reason the 2 Golden Core State Level 8 cultivators from the south hadn't taken a formation each was because it was safer for them to do so. They were from the same sect. However, now it was different. If the 7 restrictions were herb gardens, then they had to take one each. Who wouldn't want more herbs? Qiu Xuanyu saw this and was dumbfounded. He had finally gotten inside the secret land, but he couldn't even get something. He might even be stuck there forever. He immediately looked at Yi Mo when a Golden Core State Level 8 master took a restriction all for himself, but he realized that Yi Mo didn't seem to plan on doing anything. Without thought, he went up to the Golden Core State Level 8 cultivator and took out a spirit crystal. "Friend, you're by yourself. Take this spirit crystal. I only want 30% of the herbs." He had already given 2 to Yi Mo, which was a waste. If he didn't get anything out of this, it would be an even bigger waste for him. The Golden Core State Level 8 cultivator had taken a restriction all for himself, but he was still a little worried. He didn't fear Yi Mo, but if Qiu Xuanyu was helping on the side, then things wouldn't be as hard. What he hadn't expected was that this Golden Core State Level 7 cultivator would only ask for 30% of the herbs and give him a spirit crystal. He could be at ease now. Without much thought, this Golden Core State Level 8 cultivator agreed to Qiu Xuanyu's request. Even those at Golden Core State Peak Stage had to admire the Golden Core State Level 8 cultivator's luck. He could take 70% of the spirit herb garden. For himself, Yi-Mo was just a mere golden core state level 1. No matter how strong he was, he wouldn't be able to take a spirit herb garden from golden core state level 7 and level 8 cultivators. All of the 7 restrictions were taken by the cultivators, but Yi-Mo didn't get anything in the end. Guang Wei was just about to call Yi-Mo, yet she saw her big martial sister's serious glare. She immediately understood that if she called Yi-Mo over, it would mean that she was giving the immortal Herb Valley's herbs to Yi-Mo. Yi-Mo seemed to have just woken up and was staring at the 7 taken restrictions. He was dazed and smiled, looking at Qiu Xuanyu. Seeing this, Qiu Xuanyu and the Golden Core State Level 8 cultivator immediately became alert. Theoretically, Yi-Mo shouldn't go look for trouble with them. Everyone looked at Yi-Mo, thinking that he would start a fight with that Golden Core State Level 8 master. However, no one believed Yi-Mo could win. Yi-Mo might not even be able to beat the Golden Core State Level 8 cultivator, much less with Qiu Xuanyu helping. However, Yi-Mo just smiled at that Golden Core State Level 8 cultivator and didn't even approach them. Instead, he walked into the small wooden room. The Golden Core State Level 8 cultivator breathed at ease when he saw that Yi-Mo wasn't planning on bothering him. However, he was contemptuous of Yi-Mo in his heart. There was nothing inside. The Golden Core State Peak Stage cultivators had confirmed it already, so no one cared when Yi-Mo went inside. Chi-Chi saw Yi-Mo go in and asked strangely, "Big martial sister, didn't you just say that he would take that restriction for sure? How come he went into the wooden room?" Lu Yuetang blushed. She felt very curious too. According to Yi-Mo's personality, he wouldn't have let things go like that. However, he had just smiled at that guy. He didn't attack. Since when was he like this? Qin Muxin sighed. She knew that it wasn't that Yi-Mo didn't want to fight for one, but that no matter which one he chose, he was on the losing end. She quickly said, "Everyone else is attacking their restrictions. We should start too." Everyone started attacking their restrictions. The Golden Core State Tertiary Stage cultivators found that Yi-Mo didn't seem to be doing anything after going into the small wooden room, so they stopped caring. The moment the 19 people attacked the 7 restrictions, the valley rumbled instantly. Meanwhile, Yi-Mo was making some formation flags and some jade cards. After half a day of attacking them, the restrictions still hadn't really loosened up. If the 19 people had attacked the same restriction, they might have broken it long ago. Many cultivators started to rest after half a day, but no one went inside the small wooden room, as though agreeing that it was Yi-Mo's. If one of them went inside the wooden room, it gave Yi-Mo a reason to fight over their herb gardens. They weren't afraid of Yi-Mo, but Yi-Mo was a madman. So even if they were to mess with Yi-Mo, it would be after they got their spirit herbs. 3 days later, many people found that Yi-Mo was making formations in the small wooden room, and he seemed to be preparing them for cultivation. People were speechless. This cultivator was mad indeed. Had he used all of these means to come in there just so that he could cultivate? They were right. Yi-Mo really started cultivating in the wooden room. He knew that with his current power, no matter which restriction he chose, he wouldn't get anything. Spirit chi was very abundant in the valley. Yi-Mo took out the spirit marrow and made a cauldron of Nin by pills. He was progressing very quickly. His golden core state had stabilized, and it had started to rise to level 2. Yi-Mo was aware that even with all of this, he wouldn't be able to reach level 2 in a short time. Yet he knew that the more refined his cultivation essence was, the better it would be for him in this valley. On the 5th day, a huge explosion sounded. Some kind of spirit chi that was incredibly dense spread out. Even Yi-Mo couldn't help getting up. He could guess that one restriction had been broken. He sent his spirit sense out and saw that one of the restriction was broken indeed. It was the Golden Core State Peak Stage cultivator from the South's restriction. Everyone stopped to look at it. The things inside immediately made everyone's eyes get full of tears. There were spirit herbs inside indeed. The lowest leveled ones were level 5 spirit herbs like the yellow 3-leaf, the mist lawn, or the life force fruit. The 3 level 5 spirit herb and level the 5 colors lotus were enough to make everyone go crazy. The mist lawn was the main ingredient for the mist spirit pill. It was the best pill for golden core state cultivators to break through. However, it was very rare and precious. The life force fruit was a level 6 spirit herb and an ingredient for making the life force pill. It was said to be the best cultivation essence recovery pill for those under hollow spirit state. It could not only recover cultivation essence, but also heal you. The 5 colors lotus was a level 5 spirit herb, but it was enough to make people crazy for it because it was a spirit herb that could ascend in level. Once the lotus reached 6 colors, it would become a level 6 spirit herb. The legendary 9 colors lotus was its highest state in the cultivation realm because once it reached 10 colors, it would become the 10 colors immortal lotus. The 9 colors lotus was precious because it could be used to make the 9-wind pill that could purify spirit roots. It was a legendary pill in the cultivation realm. However, they all knew that it was very hard to keep a 5 colors lotus alive. Even if they could, it would take a few hundred years for it to reach 6 colors, so 9 colors would take too much. Chapter 9:26. Leave behind the toll price. Chapter 9:26. Leave behind the toll price. The golden core state peak stage cultivator saw everyone's greedy eyes, so he said coldly, "There are 7 herb gardens here, and I've only broken into one of them. I think you should all focus on your own gardens." With this reminder, everyone woke up and attacked their own restrictions like crazy. If there were that many herbs in the first garden, it meant that their own wouldn't have any less. Even Yi-Mo wanted them, but he couldn't get them now. No one kept watch of Yi-Mo. Qin Mushin had been watching Yi-Mo the whole time. However, she saw Yi-Mo's fiery eyes, and she could tell that Yi-Mo desired those spirit herbs too, so she began to worry. If he fought with those golden core state peak stage cultivators, Yi-Mo wouldn't be strong enough to beat them. However, she found that Yi-Mo didn't go out of the small wooden house. Instead, he took out formation flags and set them around the wooden house. It was as though he didn't plan on letting people go into his wooden house. Rumble restrictions were broken one by one, and large amongst of high-level spirit herbs were shown. Yi-Mo sat at the door of the small wooden house and scanned with his spirit sense. Red light fruit, purple back carrot, core-building grass, blue and grass, crisp vine, tiger blood flower. There were even some level 7 herbs. Everything was what he wanted. The people soon divided the herbs after breaking the formation. But what disappointed Yi-Mo was that after all of the 7 restrictions were broken, the highest level spirit herbs inside were level 7, and the most precious one was the 5 colors lotus. He hadn't even gotten to see the level 8 spirit herb return soul fruit he wanted to see. Clearly, there was none there. "Sorry, Yi-Mo, I have 2 level 6 purple back blue carrot. You can have it." Guang Wei walked up to the wooden house. She felt bad for Yi-Mo, who hadn't gotten anything. Yi-Mo had done all he could to come in. The 2 herbs she had given him were materials for concocting the blue carrot pill. It was used for breaking through bottlenecks for nascent soul state cultivators. It was very precious. Did you make defense formations here?" Guang Wei immediately realized that she couldn't go into the small wooden house. Yi-Mo smiled and nodded. "Yes, but I don't need your herbs. It doesn't have much use for me." "But I have 2 level 6 herbs." Just when Guang Wei was about to say something else, Yi-Mo waved his hand and stopped her. He suddenly spoke out loud. "Everyone, I believe that you've all gotten large amounts of precious herbs here, and you're desperate to go out." Yi-Mo's words immediately caught the attention of all cultivators there. Of course, they wanted to get out. "Do you have a way out?" the Southern Golden Core State Peak Stage cultivator suddenly asked coldly. Yi Mo didn't answer, seeing that his attitude wasn't nice. He looked at the other cultivators and waited for someone to ask. The Golden Core State Peak Stage Master saw that a mere Golden Core State level cultivator dare to ignore him, so he was about to rage. But the Golden Core State Peak Stage cultivator next to him stopped him. Let's see what he has to say first. If he doesn't have a good reason, we can attack him then. Ji Ziyuan from the Ghost Immortal Sect said slowly, Dao friend Ji, if you really have a way for me to leave, I can give you a few herbs. Yi Mo smiled. He had been waiting for those words. He then glanced at the cultivators before him and said calmly, this wooden house is a teleportation formation, but it's incomplete. A master who excels in formation must complete this formation. And I happen to be that formation master. While you were gathering the herbs, I spent 5 days of arduous work and finally completed this formation. Before Yi Mo even finished, a few desperate cultivator tried to rush into the wooden house. Yet when they arrived at the door, they were blocked by Yi Mo's defense formation. Seeing this, Yi Mo's expression sunk and said coldly, I paid a great deal to finish this formation, and you want to just use it for free? I finished this formation, so if you want to use it, you have to take out something I'm happy with. When Yi Mo started speaking, the Southern Golden Core State Peak Stage cultivator's face looked happy. But when Yi Mo asked them to pay, his face sunk again. You're a mere Golden Core State Level 1 cultivator. Do you want everyone to give you something? How long do you think your defense formation can last if we attack together? Yi Mo sneered and took out a jade card. If you want to use this teleportation formation, you must use a jade card I made. Without it, no one can pass through it unless you're also a formation master like me. Even if you all attack together, my formation can last at least 30 seconds. During that time, I can leave this formation easily. How long do you think I need to stop you guys for? Yi Mo acted like this because he knew there were no formation masters there. Otherwise, they would have long seen that the small wooden house was a formation. Hearing this, the cultivator was furious. He was about to attack Yi Mo's defense formation. Yi Mo sneered and took out his jade card. He stood on the teleportation formation and said calmly, since you think you can get out on your own, then I'll be leaving first, guys. Wait. Ji Ziyuan stopped the furious Golden Core State Peak Stage cultivator and also quickly stopped Yi Mo. If things were really as Yi Mo said, then if he left, no one would be able to leave. The Golden Core State Peak Stage cultivator also realized he couldn't attack now, despite his fury. Yi Mo wasn't really going to leave. Otherwise, he wouldn't have waited until then. So, he got off the teleportation formation and said to Ji Ziyuan, what do you have to say? How do we know what you say is the truth? Ji Ziyuan already believed Yi Mo's words. Yi Mo could tell that Ji Ziyuan believed him, but he was bargaining. He sneered, I've spent so much effort and wasted all this time to repair the teleportation formation. I wasted countless materials for that. If you believe me, then we can do business. If not, don't come over. Qin Muxin wanted to laugh. She had been watching Yi Mo. He had just placed some formation flags at the start, certainly without spending much time or materials. The formation must have also been complete from the beginning, and it had nothing to do with Yi Mo. She didn't say this, however. Otherwise, Yi Mo would cause rage. In fact, the teleportation formation had been complete, but there was a stealth restriction on it, so other people couldn't see it. Yet Yi Mo could. At the same time, Yi Mo changed the formation so that only those with a card could go through. That meant that without Yi Mo, these people would eventually find it and leave without the jade card. The small wooden room doesn't belong to you. What right do you have to take over it? A Southern Golden Core State Level 8 cultivator roared. In contempt, he was the one who had taken the herb garden that belonged to Yi Mo, but Yi Mo hadn't dared say anything. This had made him look down on Yi Mo. The herb garden outside wasn't yours. Why did you take it? Yi Mo jeered at him. He then looked at Guang Wei. Marshal Sister Guang Wei, if you trust me, come in. I'll let you go first. Okay. Without thought, Guang Wei walked into the small wooden room. Seeing Guang Wei taking out the spirit herb, Yi Mo smiled and stopped her. No need. I'll let you go for free. Guang Wei blushed and took the jade card. Shin then put it on the teleportation formation. Everyone saw Guang Wei walk onto the teleportation formation, and after a white ray of light flashed, she disappeared. Seeing this, everyone was shook. After all, giving some spirit herbs to Yi Mo was better than being locked up in there forever. Knowing that they could leave for certain, some people weren't worried and instead looked around for other exits. Chapter 9:27. How nice I am to you. Chapter 9:27. How nice I am to you. Yi Mo wasn't worried at all. He played with the jade cards, waiting to get paid. Those golden core state peak stages cursed, but unless they found another way out, if the teleportation formation was really as Yi Mo said it was, then no one would be able to open it after he left. Yi Mo wasn't worried because he knew for sure that there was no other way out. Even if there were, it would be through the mist, but he believed no one would dare to try that out. Indeed, even when a few cultivators searched the entire valley, they didn't find another way out. Qin Mushin walked to Yi Mo's wooden house and said, Marshal Brother Yi, I'm willing to give you spirit herbs. Yi Mo led her inside and said quietly, seeing that you didn't expose me, I'll give you the special right to pass free. Qin Mushin blushed. She was thinking it might be more because Yi Mo had rejected the marriage in front of her face, but she couldn't really say that. So she just accepted the card and went into the teleportation formation. Qin Mushin was in fact right. Yi Mo was indeed feeling a little guilty, but the main thing was that most of the herbs were on Lu Yuetang. He only needed to catch Lu Yuetang. So like this, he would still get what he wanted and seem like a good person at the same time. Seeing this, Lu Yuetang let Chi-Chi go onto the teleportation formation. What everyone didn't understand was why Yi Mo let her pass for free. Everyone was contemptuous of Yi Mo. This guy let all the beautiful girls pass for free. Clearly he was a lecherous person. The other two female cultivators from the south also rejoiced. They decided to let Yi Mo take a little advantage of them when they went in. He wouldn't be able to really do anything to them anyway. And if they didn't have to pay spirit herbs thanks to it, they would be earning big. Lu Yuetang rejoiced too. Yi Mo had great talent, but he still had a weakness towards beautiful women. It seemed Immortal Herb Valley was going to be lucky this time. Lu Yuetang stepped forward to the teleportation formation. Marshal Brother Yi, hello. Thank you for helping my martial sisters. This is my communications bead. If you go out and have some time, come visit us at the Immortal Herb Valley. Lu Yuetang didn't mention anything about her spirit herbs at all. Yi Mo took it and put it away without even looking at it. Then he said calmly, Thank you, Marshal Sister Lu. But then his tone changed. Marshal Sister Lu got 12 core building grasses, 84 smoke mist flowers, 31 purple-back blue carrots, and 16 condensed green vines. The more Yi Mo spoke, the worse her face looked. She didn't think Yi Mo had been watching her constantly from his small wooden house. Why was he saying this? I won't take much. Just give me half of everything. Of course, if it's an odd number, then you can have the extra one. Are you crazy? Lu Yuetang immediately yelled. Yi Mo shook his head. I'm not crazy. After you go out, Marshal Sister, you will know how lucky you are to be in the same sect as Guang Wei. Lu Yuetang's face changed, and her tone suddenly went cold. What if I don't agree? Yi Mo smiled. Then please step back. I didn't spend that much effort to be free labor. Hearing this, even the people outside the formation couldn't accept it. Lu Yuetang knew Yi Mo a little at least, yet this Yi cultivator was going to take half of her herbs. How much would he take from them strangers? Lu Yuetang wanted to attack immediately, but she stopped herself. Even if she killed Yi Mo, the people outside wouldn't let her go. Remembering how Yi Mo had saved Marshall's sister Guang Wei, Lu Yuetang sighed and took out half of the herbs, saying coldly, "I'm giving you these herbs not as payment, but as thanks for saving Marshall's sister Guang Wei." Yi Mo took the storage bag and checked it carefully before taking out a jade card and giving it to Lu Yuetang. Then he said casually, "You should consider yourself lucky that you didn't attack. My temper isn't that good. So even if I wouldn't have killed you on Guang Wei's account, I would take your storage ring at least." You... Lu Yuetang was furious as she took the jade card and glanced at Yi Mo contemptuously. "I won't fight over something useless like that with you. Soon you will know how nice I am being to you. You're not bad, but soon you will realize the difference between you and someone at the Golden Course State Peak stage." Lu Yuetang cursed. If she knew this was going to happen, she would have left most of the herbs in Lu Yuetang's or Qin Muxin's care. Yi Mo activated the teleportation formation immediately, but before she left, he also said, "Soon you will know how nice I was to you as well." Shi Qiushui then walked into the teleportation formation, and before Yi Mo asked, he took out half of his herbs and said, "Marshal Brother Yi, here are my herbs." Yi Mo took out a jade card and said, "I was going to ask 60%, but since you are showing initiative, I'll just take 50%. Shi Qiushui smiled bitterly. He knew that Yi Mo was saying this not to him, but to the people outside. Yi Mo meant that they had to give the herbs to him without asking, or things wouldn't be so easy. Seeing that 5 people had left already, the Golden Core State Level 8 that took Yi Mo's Spirit Herb Garden asked Yi Mo to go in next. Yi Mo saw the killing intent in his eyes and knew that the fellow didn't harbor good intentions. As soon as he walked in, he said, "I'm Pan Yi. Remember it, dash." Then he took out a flying sword and attacked Yi Mo. The cultivators outside saw this and knew that Pan Yi wanted to subjugate Yi Mo as quickly as possible. They were all preparing to attack. But before they could, they heard a thud as Pan Yi was flicked out of the room, smashing into a herb garden. Yi Mo looked at Pan Yi coldly. He didn't say anything, but this was more threatening than anything he could say. At this moment, no one dared to doubt Yi Mo's formation capabilities anymore. He just activated the formation and flicked Pan Yi out without even having to attack himself. If Yi Mo wasn't concerned with the cultivators outside, he could probably kill Pan Yi at any time. He really is a formation master. Our South Peace State is full of geniuses, but we've never seen a formation master this young. My God, how does he do it? The Golden Core State Peak stage from the South murmured in shock. This person set up such a formation in a rush? Perhaps he's already a level 4 formation master. That's too scary. Another Southern Golden Core State level 7 commented, "In the cultivation realm, formation masters were divided into 9 levels. Those who could lay level 1 to level 3 formations were called formation masters. Between level 4 and level 6, one can be called a formation grandmaster. If one can set up level 7 to level 9 formations, then that would be a formation supreme master. No one could lay formations beyond level 9 because that would be an immortal formation, and those who can lay those are called immortal formation masters. The reason why everyone was so shocked was because even level 3 formation masters were very rare, much less a level 4 formation grandmaster like Yi Mo. Those other formation grandmasters were all hundreds of years old. No one was as young as Yi Mo. Chapter 928. Give you 2 words. Chapter 928. Give you 2 words, Pan. Yi felt embarrassed that he had been kicked out like a dead dog by a level 1 Golden Core State cultivator, despite Yi Mo having done it with the formation. So as soon as he got up, he tried to attack Yi Mo's defense formation. But he was immediately stopped by Ji Ziyuan. After Lu Yuetang had left, he was the only Golden Core State Peak stage cultivator from the north. He stopped Pan Yi's flying sword and said coldly, "If you dare to attack the formation again, I will kill you." Pan Yi subconsciously shivered. There was still a huge difference between a Golden Core State Level 8 Master and Golden Core State Peak Stage Master. Moreover, from the bleak chi Yuan was emitting, he might even be at false soul state. On top of that, even his sex martial brother wasn't speaking up for him. Those people who had wanted to do the same immediately gave up on the thought. Trying to go into the formation of a formation Grand Master to capture him was a joke. The South Peace State cultivator didn't wait for Yi Mo to ask, and they just took out half of their herbs. Soon, Yi Mo had an abundance of herbs, and they were all precious ones. Yi Mo felt he had played well his move. So what if he offended people? After he returned to River State, he would run away with Yangzhu and the others. Luo Yu continent was quite big. Who could find him? Moreover, how could a Dao cultivator be timid? After a few cultivators left, the Golden Core State Peak Stage cultivator also walked into Yi Mo's small room. I'm from a 6-star sect in the south, Lightning Forgery Sex Huang Yushan. Dao friend Yi is already a formation Grand Master at such a young age. I'm very impressed. Here's my herbs. Yi Mo took the bag and checked the herbs. Then he threw them back. You're missing 10 life essence fruits for ghost face mushrooms and a 5 colors lotus. Huang Yushan was about to rage after hearing this. He hadn't thought Yi Mo could tell so clearly how many herbs he had gotten. Yi Mo didn't care what sect this old man came from. How dare this guy cut out on the payment? Yi Mo said coldly, "Hurry up. If you are not going to use the formation, I will push you out. There's many people in line." Huang Yushan felt very sullen, but he knew he couldn't do anything about it. Huang Yushan put his hand in the storage bag again. He had made up his mind that after he got out, he would wait for this insect. Yi Mo said at that moment, "Because you played dirty the first time, you need to give me 60% of your herbs to get out. You need to add 13 life essence fruits, 2 5 colors lotus, etc." You dash. Huang Yushan had just realized what Yi Mo meant when he said he was being nice to Lu Yuedeng. He looked at Yi Mo with fury and said word by word, "I only have 3 5 colors lotus. You dare take 2. Yi Mo, you're a formation Grand Master indeed, but if I attack without consideration, do you think you can stop me? Don't be so cocky, young man, unless you want to stay in here forever." Yi Mo replied coldly, "You have 5 seconds. In 5 seconds, you can *SS off." Yi Mo was losing his patience. If that dude, Huang, didn't agree, he would flick him out first, and after everyone else had left, he would teach this guy a lesson. He had already completely offended these cultivators by asking for their herbs. He didn't need to suck up to them anymore. 1, 2, Yi Mo counted. Seeing this, everyone looked at Yi Mo in a daze. If this guy dared to do this to Huang Yushan, of course he would to Pan Yi, who was only at Golden Core State Level 8. "I'll pay." Huang Yushan clenched his teeth and gave him his herbs. He had decided that after he left, even if he couldn't go collect herbs for the remaining 2 months, he would wait for Yi Mo, then checked the storage bag and said coldly, "You're smart. Otherwise, you wouldn't be giving me 60%. Huang Yushan's face was very bleak. However, he just took the jade card and went into the teleportation formation. After this, everyone else took out half of their herbs without having to be reminded. Even the 2 female cultivators who had wanted to seduce Yi Mo didn't bother trying. Soon, the remaining Golden Core State Peak Stage cultivator from the south also paid half of his herbs and left. There were just 3 people outside now. One was Pan Yi, another was Qiu Xuanyu, and the last was the Ghost Immortal Sex Golden Core State Peak Stage Ji Ziyuan. Ji Ziyuan went inside and gave Yi Mo a strange look, but he still gave him half of his herbs. After Yi Mo gave him the jade card, Ji Ziyuan suddenly grabbed Yi Mo. Yi Mo sneered and didn't even bother stopping the attack. He threw a formation flag, and with the flash of a ray, Ji Ziyuan was kicked outside of the room. Ji Ziyuan didn't seem worried at all. He said coldly to Yemo, I have a jade card now. Even if you kick me out, if I break through the defense formation, do you think you can leave before I break it? I won't trouble you. Give me back the herbs you took from me and half of what you got. Before Yemo could reply, Jiziyuan took out 2 black beads and played with them. Perhaps I only need to throw 1 bead to break your formation in a second. Hearing this, Pan, Yi, and Qiu Xuanyu were dazed. If they really fought, and P** said Yemo off, Jiziyuan would be able to leave for certain, but they wouldn't. Moreover, they saw the black bead in Jiziyuan's hands. It was the burst Eam bead made by nascent soul state cultivators. These beads were very powerful. It was powerful, but only nascent soul state cultivators could make it. Usually, nascent soul state cultivators wouldn't make it because it was made when they formed their nascent soul, using the impurities and dirt of their body. Most of them didn't make it, as it split their attention and affect the quality of their nascent soul. Hence, burst Eam beads were very rare. Jiziyuan watched Yemo closely. As soon as Yemo dared to get on the teleportation formation, he would immediately throw the busting bead. However, Yemo didn't go on the teleportation formation. He took out a formation flag instead and sneered at Jiziyuan. You won't get my storage ring, nor my herbs, but I have 2 words for you. Jiziyuan raised the bursting bead and sneered. You're very bold, but you can try. My burst Eam bead can break your formation in a second. Young man, spirit herbs are good, but you need to have the life to enjoy them. No matter what words you say, I'll only give you 1 chance. Dumb C** NT Yemo then shook his head. If he hadn't thought of this possible scenario, he wouldn't have even needed to stand there to gather wealth. You're asking to die, Jiziyuan yelled. He was about to throw out his bursting bead, but the next moment he was dazed. The jade card in his hand turned into pieces. Without thought, Jiziyuan threw out one of the burst Eam beads. If Yemo really tried to leave, he wouldn't be able to. He was sure Yemo needed 5 seconds to teleport away. During this time, his burst Eam bead would have already broken the formation. Chapter 9:29. Already a public enemy. Chapter 9:29. Already a public enemy, Yemo knew the power of the burst Eam bead and didn't expect Jiziyuan to have it. It wouldn't be able to break his formation in a second, but his formation wouldn't last more than 3 seconds. In that case, he wouldn't have time to teleport away. If Jiziyuan had taken out the burst Eam bead immediately, Yemo wouldn't have been able to collect everyone's herbs, but Jiziyuan had been greedy and wanted Yemo to collect the spirit herbs for him, so he had stayed until the end. But Yemo wasn't afraid. He wasn't going to just stand there and watch the burst Eam bead break his formation. Yemo threw out all of his formation flags and sneered. Had you used your burst Eam bead right at the start, then I wouldn't have been able to do anything but run. But now, you deserve the 2 words I gave you. The flags floated in an orderly fashion and surrounded the burst Eam bead as soon as Yemo threw them out. Rumble, a huge explosion sounded. The formation flags Yemo threw out quickly formed a simple defensive formation, but it was pulverized instantly by the power of the burst Eam bead. But Yemo didn't want the explosion to reach his innermost defensive arrangement and threw out more formation flags to surround it. This kept happening, as though Yemo had an endless amount of formation flags on him. Eventually, the power of the burst Eam bead was shaved away by Yemo's countless formation flags. The defensive formation in the small wooden room was only a little broken. Yemo threw a few more formation flags out, and the damaged parts were instantly repaired. Jiziyuan looked at all of this in a daze. His burst Eam bead's power had been wasted away by Yemo's formation flags in such a shameless way. He was at a loss for words. He said he would break Yemo's formation in a second, yet more than half a minute had passed, and Yemo's formation was still there. Ji Ziyuan didn't expect this mere golden core state level 1 to be so calculating. He seemed to have long since prepared countless formation flags. From how he could make an impromptu formation in midair, it showed that he had long since built the formation foundations for them. Ji Ziyuan thought of himself as a calculative person, but this guy was even more calculating than him. Meanwhile, Yi Mo was sweating cold. Being careful wasn't a mistake indeed. He thought of the possibility of someone using a single-use magic artifact thanks to the red lightning from before. And so he made a few more defensive formation bases in the air that could be activated by formation flags as a countermeasure for such things. Who would have thought that this extra move would actually save his life? Otherwise, he really wouldn't know if he would have been able to get away. Pan Yi and Qiu Xuanyu also looked at the confrontation speechlessly. Pan Yi's mouth was bitter. He knew his ending wouldn't be good. This golden core state level 1 was playing around with even a golden core state peak stage. So wasn't he not even worth mentioning? Yi Mo then took out another handful of formation flags and said, "Gee, you have another burst in bead, right? Why don't you take it out?" If it wasn't that Yi Mo didn't dare to leave now, as he still had some business here, he would have long since gone out. He didn't care if these three lived or not. But Yi Mo believed there was something strange about how there could still be such dense spirit chi after the restrictions were broken. He had to search everything again after everyone left. Yi Mo didn't know that other people had also realized that, but even if they stayed behind, they wouldn't be able to get anything. Ji Ziyuan looked bitterly at Yi Mo. "Dao Frenji, it was my bad. I'm willing to give you more spirit herbs. Please let me go on account that we're all northern cultivators." Yi Mo said, "I'm easy to talk to and very generous. You only need to give me half of your herbs, but you will need to add 100k top-grade spirit stones. Also, since you scared me with your burst bead, you will have to leave the remaining one behind as compensation." Hearing this, Ji Ziyuan's heart ached. He didn't get anything in the end, and only lost 100k top-grade spirit stones, as well as a burst bead. As for staying behind, who knew if he would still be alive after being trapped in there for a few decades? From a certain perspective, he actually did feel that Yi Mo was rather easy to negotiate with. The 100k spirit stones wasn't really much. The only precious thing was the burst bead. Yi Mo had considered taking Ji Ziyuan's storage ring, but that would mean them becoming mortal enemies. He was sure that even if it meant Ji Ziyuan not being able to go out, he wouldn't leave behind his storage ring. Yi Mo wasn't confident in taking down Ji Ziyuan anyway, so he had left some space for him. Furthermore, Ji Ziyuan was from the Ghost Immortal sect. He could kill him, but he couldn't allow his sect to know about it. Those who had entered the hidden space were all elites of their sections. It wasn't too bad to rob their spirit herbs, but killing those elite members would be another story. Ji Ziyuan entered the small wooden house for the second time and gave Yi Mo a bag filled with 100k spirit stones. But then Yi Mo threw the bag back and said coldly, "How come I don't see the half of the spirit herbs?" Ji Ziyuan was stunned. He realized that Yi Mo didn't mean the half of his spirit herbs that he had already given him just now, but that Yi Mo meant he wanted another half of the remaining herbs he had. This meant that he would have given Yi Mo 75% of all his herbs. At this moment, Ji Ziyuan no longer thought Yi Mo was easy to talk to, but he had no negotiation rights anymore. Ji Ziyuan didn't bother arguing with Yi Mo, and just took out another half of his herbs and gave that to Yi Mo. He had decided that after he went out, no matter where in the world Yi Mo was, he was going to catch him and devour him. Seeing Ji Ziyuan leave, Qiu Xuanyu took out half of his herbs without making trouble and left. He swore that he would rather face nascent soul state masters than Yi Mo, seeing that only Pan Yi remained. Yi Mo had nothing to worry about anymore. He might not be a match for Pan Yi, but with his formations, he really didn't fear this Pan fellow. Pan Yi looked at him and asked, "How many herbs do you want?" He knew that Yi-mo would definitely ask for more, and he was prepared to give all he had. He would just wait for Yi-mo after going out. "Give me 80%, and that spirit crystal. Then you can leave," Yi-mo said coldly. Yi was shook, as he didn't expect Yi-mo to only ask for 80%. Yi-mo had his own plans, though. If he took all of Yi's herbs, it would break his hope, and he might as well kill him then. A person who loses hope will become crazy. But Yi-mo didn't plan on killing him yet. Yi didn't object, and took out what was asked of him without hesitation. Seeing Yi teleport away, Yi-mo secretly breathed a sigh of relief. He had become a public enemy now. The people would probably be waiting for him outside, but Yi-mo didn't plan on leaving any time soon. Chapter 930. Waiting for Yi-mo. Chapter 930. Waiting for Yi-mo at an ordinary place on the outskirts of the desert. A hidden teleportation formation revealed itself. More than 20 cultivators had gathered here. There were the 18 cultivators who had been teleported out and 2 friends who they had called over. Qiu Xuanyu was the only one who had left immediately. Everyone stared at the formation, waiting for one person, that Yi-mo who had robbed their herbs with shameless means. They were waiting there to take back what belonged to them. Many saw Qiu Xuanyu run away, and they immediately looked down on him, but no one said anything. Qiu Xuanyu was completely scared of Yi-mo. He would rather get away and not take back his herbs than face Yi-mo again. The formation brightened up again. It was Yi. The Golden Core State Level 8 cultivator who had come with him went up to him and asked, "Martial Brother Pan, how much did he take?" Yi's face was green. He said coldly, 80%, and that spirit crystal. Huang Yushan realized that everyone except Yi-mo had come out, so he immediately got up and saluted with his fists. "That cocky little insect took most of our herbs. Our only goal in staying here is to rip him to pieces. But before this, I hope everyone can report their lost herbs in case we start a fight when we divide the herbs." Huang Yushan's words immediately got the approval of many cultivators. Huang Yushan nodded and said, "In that case, I'll speak first. I lost 60% of my herbs, 2 5-colors lotus, etc." Lui Wedang was shook. She hadn't expected that Yi-mo would take more from Huang Yushan than from her. Ji Ziyuan then stood up and said coldly, "I lost 75% of my herbs, and 1 burst in vide. The herbs are etc." Ji Ziyuan soon realized what Yi-mo meant when he said that soon she would understand how nice he was bringing to her. Hearing all these cultivators report the herbs they had lost, she suddenly didn't have hatred towards Yi-mo anymore. She suddenly smiled to her martial sisters and said, "Let's go." Seeing them leave, many of the cultivators didn't understand, but no one asked them to stay. After all, when Yi-mo came out, if they didn't take their portion, it meant that everyone would get a little more. After they had walked away, Chi-Chi couldn't help asking, "Big martial sister, why didn't you wait for your 50% of herbs?" Lui Wetang smiled bitterly. "Do you think we could have gotten it back? If Yi-mo can't even think of the situation, he would have long been subjugated by those who stayed behind. If I'm not wrong, they are just wasting their time there. In 3 days, almost all of them will leave. But that's the teleport exit. If he's to come out, he has to pass there. Can he come out from other places?" Chi-Chi asked in bewilderment. Lui Wetang shook her head. "I don't really understand this either, but I believe that since he dares to do this, he might have another way out. He's very cunning and meticulous. I don't think I'm wrong about him. In the future, try not to be enemies with someone like him." Qin Mushin didn't say anything. Her master had also told her this. However, Yi-mo didn't have another way out. The teleportation formation had a set destination, and the person who had set it up was much more powerful than him. With his current power, he couldn't change it into a random location teleportation formation. If he made any mistakes, he might get stuck in space-time and lose his life. Random location teleportation formations required high-level materials and a very powerful cultivation level. But Yi Mo didn't care. He had gotten the spirit herbs he wanted. It was enough for him to reach nascent soul state. Even if the others were waiting outside, by using the most obvious method, he could leave just when he was about to be teleported out of the herb valley. The southern cultivators wouldn't be teleported to the north far state. So the only one he needed to worry about was Ji Ziyuan. Yi Mo then went into the ravaged herb gardens. Yi Mo felt the dense spirit qi immediately. There was definitely something up, as all the spirit herbs there were gone. Yi Mo reached his spirit sense down the garden. He was only at Golden Core State Level 1, but his spirit sense was similar to Golden Core State middle stage cultivators. Even so, after spreading it tens of kms down, he wasn't able to reach any further. Yi Mo decided to use earth mobility. The more he went down, the denser he felt the spirit qi to be. An hour later, Yi Mo stopped. He had understood the source of the dense spirit qi. It was an underground spirit range. It was low grade, but Yi Mo felt that perhaps in a few decades, it would become a middle grade spirit range. So that was it. How could he take it out, though? Yi Mo realized that he wasn't the only one who had found out about it. Those who had come and knew about this, but they didn't have a way to take it away, so they pretended they didn't know. The reason they had pretended they didn't know was so that they could report this and come back next time to take it away. The value of a spirit range couldn't be measured with spirit stones. Even a 5-star sect might not have a good spirit range. Yi Mo had heard that 6-star sects had their own middle-grade spirit ranges. He must take the spirit range away. With it, he could cultivate anywhere he wanted. He still had some spirit marrow yet, but with his cultivation consumption speed, it was at most enough for him to reach Golden Core State Level 3. The spirit range was far from as good as the spirit marrow pond, but it had more spirit qi. No storage ring could take a spirit range away. Even if one could, Yi Mo wouldn't be able to put it inside. Yi Mo immediately went inside the Golden Page world. He knew that he could only use the Golden Page world to take it away. But when Yi Mo went inside, he was shook to find that the Golden Page world had expanded multiple times. He knew that the Golden Page world would expand after he reached Golden Core State, but even when he had reached Foundation Establishment State, the increase hadn't been this significant. If the Golden Page world hadn't been his, he suspected that his spirit sense wouldn't have been able to scan until the end. It was still dull and gray inside. Yi Mo scanned and saw Silver sitting in the spirit marrow pond. Her feathers looked whiter. "Are you a spirit beast now?" Yi Mo looked dazedly at the big bird. He hadn't thought that a bird he had brought from Earth could become a level 1 spirit beast. Or had she always been a spirit beast? When Ning Qingxue first got Silver, Yi Mo had thought it was a blue phoenix whose feathers get more and more blue. Silver's plumage had gotten whiter, however. Hearing this, Silver glanced at Yi Mo contemptuously and continued to squirm in the spirit marrow pond. Yi Mo ignored her. After seeing that the Golden Page world was this big, he realized that he could fit 1,000 spirit ranges, much less one. What he needed to figure out now was how to bring it inside. Chapter 931. No Exit. Chapter 931. No Exit. Yi Mo exited the Golden Page world and tried to move the spirit range inside it, but reality proved it to be nothing but an exercise in pointlessness. The spirit range didn't even shake a bit. Yi Mo sighed. If he wanted to put the range into his Golden Page world like that, he would need to at least reach the hollow spirit state. Just when he was out of ideas, he suddenly felt the spirit range move a little. When he checked it carefully, he confirmed that the spirit range had moved a little indeed. The spirit range wanted to escape? Yi Mo was shook. Yi Mo immediately perused the spirit range with his spirit sense and found that it was moving indeed, even though the movement was minimal. So the spirit range had its own will. It had been there for countless years and never moved. Why would it move as soon as they came? Yi Mo thought about and understood what was going on. This spirit range must have been controlled by some ancient powerful being to provide spirit chi for the 7 herb gardens. The herb gardens contained a formation that bound the spirit range. When the group with Yi Mo entered, none of them knew formations well and destroyed the formation. Even he didn't realize that the 7 herb gardens formed a formation. Without the formation binding it, the spirit range could run away and find a better place to reach the middle grade. Formation? Yi Mo suddenly realized that perhaps he could use a formation to move it away into his golden page world. Thinking about this, Yi Mo didn't hesitate to go into action. He started building formations around the spirit range immediately. Yi Mo's power wasn't too high, but his formation skills were good. A week later, Yi Mo's formation had covered the entire spirit range. As Yi Mo kept throwing out formation flags, the spirit range started to shake. The entire ground started to shake too. Yi Mo worried that if he took the spirit range, the entire valley might collapse. No matter how worried he was, though, Yi Mo did what he needed to do. And finally, indeed, a huge thud sounded as the spirit range was shifted into his golden page world. The thunderous sound seemed capable of crushing one's soul. Without taking so much as a moment to hesitate, Yi Mo dashed into the golden page world. Even though he had earth mobility, the huge force of the earth crashing down would be enough to pulverize him. As soon as Yi Mo came in, he saw the spirit range emit a faint white mist that circulated at one side of the golden page world. Meanwhile, Silver was watching the spirit range worriedly. Feeling the dense spirit chi inside, Yi Mo breathed comfortably. No one would believe that someone had been able to seize a spirit range with golden core state power. Yi Mo knew that the collapse outside wouldn't finish for a while, so he sat inside the spirit marrow pond and started cultivating. The spirit chi was devoured by Yi Mo like crazy, and his power kept increasing. When Yi Mo opened his eyes again, he was shook. Another 20% of the spirit marrow pond was gone, yet he had only barely reached the middle stage of level 1. Yi Mo looked at the pond and murmured, "How many spirit stones will need to reach golden core state level 9? How many spirit herbs will I need?" He didn't dare to imagine. His consumption rate was crazy. Although he had a spirit range now, its potency was a far cry from the spirit marrow pond. Yi Mo didn't continue cultivating in the pond. He would be wasting too much. It would be much better for Yangzhu and Yi Ling to cultivate in it. Yi Mo started to organize his herbs. These were the herbs which had been planted around the spirit range, so they were important, especially the 2 5-colors lotuses. So Yi Mo used a formation to protect them. Yi Mo looked at the vast patch of level 5 herbs and felt a sense of satisfaction. He had gone through a bit of danger, but the harvest was worth it. Yi Mo came out of the golden page world and returned to the herb garden. The scene in front of him was astonishing. The valley was a mess. There were no longer any remnants of the 7 herb gardens, and all that was left were 7 big ravines instead. Even the small wooden house had disappeared, much less the teleportation formation. Yi Mo sighed. Even if there weren't people waiting for him on the other side, he wouldn't be able to get away. So now Yi Mo's greatest problem was how to go out. Yi Mo went around again, but didn't find another way out. The formation he had used to threaten others with was destroyed by his own hands. The mist was still dense outside, and Yi Mo didn't dare to try going through it. But Yi Mo knew that the mist might really be his only way out. So Yi Mo called out Shadowless and told it to approach the mist. After Shadowless flew up to a few meters from the mist, it quickly came back to Yi Mo's shoulder, and no matter how much Yi Mo urged it, it didn't dare to go up again. Even Shadowless couldn't go near the mist. Yemo really didn't have any ideas left. He had wanted to use the method he used to escape Changfen Valley again. If Shadowless weren't afraid of the mist, he would let Shadowless take the Golden Page world across the mist. But now Yemo began to worry. He didn't want to stay there. No one would come there even 50 years later. Suddenly, Yemo felt a sense of danger. The mist started to slowly pour in, and the closest part was only a few meters away from him. In his shock, Yemo immediately went back into the Golden Page world without thought. Yemo then immediately made a surveillance formation disk and threw it out. Through it, Yemo saw the valley become slowly covered, and in no time, the entire valley would be covered in that deadly mist. Yemo sighed. He knew that he had completely lost the way to go out. Yemo guessed that the mist had probably been locked out by the garden's formation. Yemo then just made a temporary home on the Spirit Range and started to concoct pills there. He wanted to see if the mist would slowly dissipate into the environment without the confinement to keep it in place. If not, then he could only hope that he would be teleported out after the 3 months were up, despite the possibilities of that not being great. Atop the Spirit Range, Yemo used his Mist Lotus Heartfire and started concocting pills. Yemo felt a smooth sense of satisfaction. With all the high-level spirit herbs Yemo had, cauldrons of pills were quickly concocted. Yemo concocted pills for an entire week before checking the outside again. Seeing that the mist was still dense, Yemo began to turn disappointed. Wait, Yemo saw 2 ants crawl slowly on the messy ground. Even Shadowless was scared of the mist. How come those 2 ants were fine? Yemo then noticed that the mist felt the same as before, yet also seemed to have lost something. And that seemed to be a level of intelligence. Was this change also due to him pulling away the Spirit Range? Thinking about this, Yemo called out Shadowless again and threw him out without regard. He kept watch of Shadowless, though, and was ready to summon it back if there were any danger. Shadowless was dazed after being randomly thrown out of the Golden Page world, but when it saw the endless mist, its first reaction was to run. But soon it stopped. It walked around the mist and realized in wonder that it didn't seem to affect him anymore. Yemo thought, is there really no danger here anymore? Thinking like this, he also went out into the mist. Chapter 932, The Spirit That Devours Space. Chapter 932, The Spirit That Devours Space. Yemo stood in the mist. He didn't go back to the Golden Page world because he knew that it was different from before. It was just some ordinary mist now, and it didn't harm him at all. Even when he walked back to the place where the mist had been sealed, nothing happened. Yemo carefully sent his spirit sense out. He soon found that his spirit sense could go through places he couldn't before. Without much effort, Yemo found the cultivator that had disappeared. He was just a pile of bones now. Even the clothes on him were gone. Yemo believed that the mist had lost its poisonous and spirit sense barrier properties after he had pulled away the Spirit Range. Theoretically, he should be safe now, but he had a sense of danger. The dead cultivator's ring was right next to his body, but Yemo didn't have any intentions of picking it up at all. He had to leave the valley quickly. That was his only thought. Was there something with intelligence there before he had put away the Spirit Range? Was it an evil spirit or something else? Thinking about this, Yemo's body got colder. That scary feeling was getting more and more intense. He didn't even turn away. He just dashed away on his flying pike. There were no longer any air restrictions. A Spirit Range, an evil spirit, a corrosive mist. Yemo just wanted to fly away as fast as possible. A strong suction force came. Yemo subconsciously scanned where he was before, and what he saw made his skin crawl. His spirit sense couldn't find anything, but the place where he had stood had disappeared into thin air. It was just like a huge football field that had a block dug out of it. The football field was still there, but it had lost a piece of it. That part seemed to have completely disappeared into nothing. Yi-mo could guess that if he had stood there, then he would have disappeared along with it. Yi-mo was a golden core state cultivator, but there was nothing he could do against such unexplainable phenomena, regardless if that was real or fake. Yi-mo knew he had to leave this place quickly. Otherwise, even if he went into the golden page world, it might disappear too. The suction seemed to be getting bigger and bigger. Yi-mo felt that if he slowed down even a little bit, he would be sucked away and disappear from this world. Yi-mo didn't dare to look back at all, nor pick up the countless rings on the bones below. He took out one of his extreme grade spirit stones and placed it on the flying pike without hesitation. With this powering it, the flying pike instantly speed up. Yi-mo felt that suction force didn't seem as strong as before, and he finally breathed at ease. 2 days later, Yi-mo heard his flying pike crack. Yi-mo realized that he had made it go too fast, and it had broken. Yi-mo threw it away, picked up the unfinished spirit stones, and dashed away on Zisu. Yi-mo had slowed down, so half a day later, he felt that suction force again. However, he realized that he was about to get out of the mist. Yi-mo didn't even dare to look at what kind of place it was. He used his cultivation essence and accelerated to the maximum before dashing away. When he left behind the last sliver of mist, Yi-mo could breathe a little better, but he still kept running at full speed. He was scared of that unseen force. He had never heard of something capable of devouring space. Yi-mo felt that everything that had been in the herb garden's secret land seemed to be part of a cycle, as though it had been designed by someone. Yi-mo believed that he had broken someone's set-up land by taking out the spirit range. Thinking about this, he felt extremely uneasy. Wait, since there was a teleportation formation in the herb garden, why were there still so many bones in the mist? They must have come from outside too. How come they didn't leave through the teleportation formation in the wooden house? Yi-mo connected the dots, and his heart skipped a beat. The wooden house had a complete teleportation formation, but it wasn't for them. That teleportation formation was hidden. He had changed the formation flags to his. This way, the formation could be activated. In other words, if he hadn't changed the formation flags, even if someone found the teleportation formation, they wouldn't have been able to use it unless that person was a formation great master. However, those who had come in there were elite sect members. Moreover, formation grand masters couldn't just be at golden core state level. It was very hard to become a formation grand master in the lifespan of a golden core state. He was a formation master. If he hadn't found that formation, then everyone would be trapped inside and forced to find a way out through the mist. From this point of view, he had saved everyone. The person who had designed this secret land had only one purpose, and that was to attract people to come in and make them go into the mist to be devoured by it and that unseen force. The Herb Valley had been around for countless years. This meant that countless people had died there. That's why there were hidden restrictions placed on the herb gardens. It was only after all these years that the restrictions had started to get weaker. Yi-mo suspected that there was also a hidden restriction around the wooden house, but only they had gotten to see it. Yi-mo guessed that the spirit herb garden was meant to feed that unknown thing. The primary source of strength was the essence blood of cultivators. Yi-mo suddenly realized that if he wanted to know if he had guessed right, he just had to look at how old the spirit herbs were. Thinking about this, Yi-mo started to check the herbs in his golden page world. After this, the first thing Yemo planned on doing when he got back would be to try to bring Yangzhu and company to South P State. Yemo asked Ding Ling about their current status too, but she didn't know anything about that. After all, the difference in social status was too high. She only knew some widely known bits of news. As the four continued flying, more and more cultivators appeared. Many who knew Guichifan came to speak with them. When Yemo followed everyone to a big lake, he finally understood why he didn't see anyone before. Most of them were here. There were at least a few hundred cultivators present. There were much more people from South P State coming into the Herb Valley than the North Far State. As Yemo arrived, he immediately saw Qiu Shui and that big-eyed girl. They were waiting on the side of the lake for the purple flower fire to come out. Yemo scanned them and moved his eyes away. They took his gift but didn't answer his question, so he really didn't like the two. The two clearly didn't notice Yemo and just stared at the lake anxiously. Around them were tens of young cultivators. When they looked at Qiu Shui, it was obvious they were all admirers of her. Qiu Shui's face was calm, and no one dared to go up and talk to her. The lake was placid, and the big-eyed girl was bored. She said to Qiu Shui, "Sister Shui, why did that guy say that? Is he retarded? He chased up to us, but why did he use such a ridiculous way to catch your attention?" Then she took out the 2 jade bottles. "I really want to see what pills he gave." "Throw it away," Qiu Shui said calmly. The big-eyed girl laughed. "I will throw it away, of course, but I really want to see what pills the fellow gave first. The 2 jade bottles are quite exquisite." Then she casually opened one bottle. When she poured 2 pale blue pills out of it, however, she couldn't help but open her mouth wide in shock. They had taken Yemo's things, but they hadn't helped him at all. Wang Pu had a sneer on his face. He said plainly, "That person is really generous, giving a special grade azure when pill to a stranger for helping them." He. Qiu Shui didn't explain. She wouldn't have believed it either if she had been Wang Pu. She subconsciously glanced at Yemo. However, this glance was immediately caught by Wang Pu. He immediately kept a mental note of Yemo. He didn't believe that Yemo, who hung out with a group of small sect members, would have such pills. Yet since Qiu Shui had glanced at Yemo that second, it meant something. Meanwhile, the purple flower fire was about to be born. He didn't have time to talk to a cultivator like Yemo. At this moment, a golden core State Peak stage cultivator stood in the air and saluted everyone with his fist. "Dao friends, we're all gathered here for one purpose, the purple flower fire, but there's only one. Luckily, there are many seeds coming with it. So even if you just get the seed, it's quite a fortune." The golden core state cultivator clearly had some status. The crowd immediately quieted down when he got out, and soon the scene was silent. This cultivator nodded with satisfaction and continued, "There are 36 seeds, but there are hundreds of cultivators here. Not everyone can get one. I'm here to remind everyone that we're all elite cultivators from the South P State. Even if you want to fight over the seeds, try not to kill each other." Yemo sneered upon hearing this. He knew this guy was talking bullshit. It would be lucky if the lake hadn't been dyed red by the end. So killing just a few people was even more unlikely. Chapter 937. Three-Eyed Purple Frog. Chapter 937. Three-Eyed Purple Frog, seeing Yemo's sneer, Guichifan quickly said, "Brother Yi, that person isn't simple. He's the core disciple of the 9-star sect called the Infinity Sect Dong Tianya. He's ranked 4th on the Golden Core State Hall of Fame." "Same sect as Wensai?" Yemo asked in shock. Guichifan looked at Yemo speechlessly. Brother Yi, please excuse me for being straightforward, but the only thing you need to know about the South Peace State 10 beauties is that if you keep them in your heart, you will eventually get hurt. This was the second time he said this to Yi Mo. Clearly he had a good impression of Yi Mo. Guo Qifan continued. This Dong Tianya, for example, he's a golden core state peak stage cultivator at such a young age, and the core disciple of a 9-star sect, and he is a pursuer of Wen Sai. Even though his status is a little higher than her, she still rejected him by saying that her cultivation level was still too low. Then he reminded Yi Mo to look at Qiu Shui on the opposite side. Look, that's the Qiu Shui, who is just ranked South Peace State number 10. Seeing Yi Mo look over, Guo Qifan continued. She's only ranked 10th, yet how many cultivators want to get close to her? Those cultivators around her are all trying to get her attention, but they don't know how ridiculous they are. They all think they're looking really eye-catching and all that, but I'm certain that Qiu Shui doesn't like even a single one of them. Yi Mo had noticed the scene as soon as he arrived and found it funny too. Qiu Shui saw Yi Mo look at her and suddenly seemed to understand something. She couldn't help but think in contempt, so in the end, he was still trying to get my attention. By the way, Brother Guo, how many cultivators enter the desert plain herb valley from the South Peace State each time? Yi Mo asked. Guo Qifan looked strangely at Yi Mo. You don't even know this? The spots are based on one sect's rank. Take my sect, the True Cauldron sect, for example. It's a 5-star sect, so we got 5 spots. 9-star sects have 9 spots. Other than this, there's also a solo cultivator alliance. If a solo cultivator wants to go in, he needs to sign up at the alliance and pass their test. If you're qualified, you can go in. All in all, there's about 10 to 20,000 people each time. Yi Mo was shook. He didn't expect the difference between the north and south to be this huge. Suddenly, ripples started forming on the Purple Flower Lake. Seeing this, everyone became quiet in an instant. No one spoke, while some people even took out their magic artifacts. Everyone walked a few steps forward, subconsciously, as though the closer they were to the lake, the greater their chances would be. The ripples grew larger and larger until it was eventually like the lake was boiling. Everyone knew that the purple flower fire was about to be born. The situation had changed, however. A level 6 three-eyed purple frog was much stronger than these cultivators. There was a core difference between the golden core state and the nascent soul state. Golden core state cultivators only congealed their cultivation essence into a solid state. Nascent soul state cultivators, on the other hand, could forge their essence spirit as well. Soon the purple flower completely opened up, and a faint purple flame rose up in the center of the petals. Yi Mo knew that when the flame was first born, it would have a faint purple color, but after it stabilized, it would return to a faint yellow color. It would then need countless years of consolidating its foundation to reach purple again. The flame was almost mature, but no one dared to go up. It was a precious thing, but it was protected by a level 6 beast. They couldn't even defend against such a beast. Dong Tianya was becoming more and more desperate. He suddenly flew up and said, "Everyone, the flame is guarded by the three-eyed purple frog. If we don't annihilate this beast, we won't be able to get the flame or the seed. It will just all be devoured by the frog at this rate. I will go lure the frog, and then everyone can attack together." "Okay, I agree. Go, Marshal Brother Dong. I will be the first to help." "Me too." Most people agreed with Dong Tianya's suggestion. Dong Tianya took out a palm-sized stamp and charged at the fire. Before he got there, another water stream shot up, as it seemed the three-eyed purple frog had been ready for him, and the huge tongue swept over again. Before the tongue reached him, though, Dong Tianya threw out the stamp in his hand, which started increasing in size. By the time it got above the three-eyed purple frog, it was already 3 meters long. Chapter 938, Loot Fest. Chapter 938, Loot Fest rumbled Dong Tianya's stamp was flicked away by the three-eyed purple frog. Dong Tianya himself spat blood in midair due to the concussive force of cultivation essence. But then, the three-eyed purple frog swooped its tongue at Dong Tianya again. This time, a few more cultivators threw their magic artifacts at the three-eyed purple frog. The three-eyed purple frog's blood can purify impurities in cultivators' bodies and remove pill poison. Those who attack the three-eyed purple frog can each get a bottle. Dong Tianya recovered and encouraged others to attack the frog too. He had only fought with the three-eyed purple frog once, and that one time had made him clearly realize that if there were just a few people, they would be no match for the frog. However, there were already cultivators charging at it. They weren't idiots. They all knew how precious the three-eyed purple frog's blood was. Moreover, fighting with the frog meant that they could near the purple flower flame. Tens of cultivators rushed, and each time the three-eyed purple frog swooped with its tongue, it would take away a few cultivators with IR. Yet, this still couldn't stop the frenzy of attacks. The three-eyed purple frog was a level 6 spirit beast indeed, but there were too many people. When he swooped away 2 more golden core state cultivators and killed 4 with water jets, its tongue also had a portion that had been sliced off by a golden core state peak stage cultivator's magic artifact. The magic artifact seemed very powerful. After he sliced a portion of the tongue off, he seemed to have exerted too much cultivation essence. Even so, he had still gotten a small bottle of blood from the three-eyed purple frog. Seeing this, more and more cultivators attacked the three-eyed purple frog like crazy. There was still some time before the flame fully matured. Yi Mo didn't move. He knew that the blood of the frog was very precious, but its most precious part was the third eye on the top of its head. The eye had a unique ability, a spirit sense attack, which was an attack to the soul. Yi Mo also knew that the three-eyed purple frog's most powerful means of attack weren't the tongue, but its spirit sense attack. The reason the frog hadn't used it yet was because it was still weak, and using that attack would hurt its own soul too. However, it had lost a part of its tongue, so it probably wasn't going to keep using water jets and tongue lashes. The third eye was also called the Eye of the Soul. If one got the Eye of the Soul, then the cultivator could spirit control it to attain the spirit sense attacks cultivation method. Some cultivators even turned the eye into their own third eye, but Yi Mo didn't want to do that. He just wanted to spirit control it to get the cultivation method for the spirit sense attack. With his powerful spirit sense, he could throw extra lethal punches. Yi Mo had only known about this after reading Thing. As Yi Mo had anticipated, he heard 2 cultivators scream, and they started to pull their hair like crazy. The next moment, the 2 men fell into the lake. The three-eyed purple frog ignored the 2 men and kept using its spirit sense attack. More and more people fell into the lake. Seeing many cultivators drown, the others started to retreat in panic. "It is a spirit sense attack," one of the cultivators reacted and screamed. He tried to retreat, but he only took half a step back, screamed, and fell into the lake. The three-eyed purple frog also seemed to know it couldn't last much longer. It splashed in the lake and ran to the bottom of the lake, leaving behind the flame. However, Yi Mo could tell this was the best moment to attack the three-eyed purple frog. It was at its weakest right now. Yi Mo was just about to turn around and call Guichifan when he saw the flame had fully come out of the blooming flower. It was floating above it. Then, after a buzz, it shot out tens of purple rays into the sky that fell down very slowly. Everyone knew that the flame had matured, and the things falling from the sky were the purple fire seeds. Guichifan and Yan Qi charged at them without notice. Eventually, even Ding Ling charged at them too, trying to find a seed. At this moment, almost all of the crowd which stood by the lake, conformed by hundreds of people, ran for them, except for a rare few. In this instance, Countless spirit artifact flew around in the sky and blood was splashed everywhere, just as Emo expected. Soon, the lake started to get tainted red. Emo shook his head. He knew that trying to get the purple flame with his power would be a joke, but he didn't want to miss this opportunity. He ran after the crowd, but he fell down into the lake halfway. To other people, it looked like he had been smashed down. However, Emo had gone down on purpose. He was going for the three-eyed purple frog's third eye. When Emo dove into the bottom of the lake, he found the three-eyed purple frog squirmed by a big rock, seeming very depleted. Yet, even so, it immediately noticed him when Emo approached it, and its tongue swooped down on him. Emo could tell that the three-eyed purple frog had used up almost all of its power, but it was still much stronger than his golden core state level 1 power. He could die if he wasn't careful. Hence, at the same time Emo released Zissou, he also released Shadowless. Immediately, Zissou shot countless purple sword rays that formed whirlpools, blocking the huge tongue. The massive amount of beams smashed on the tongue, creating gashes. The three-eyed purple frog shrieked in anger. It shot 2 water jets at Emo while its tongue swooped down again. This time, Emo didn't use sword rays. He simply gathered all of his cultivation essence and hacked the huge tongue. A jet of blood sprayed across the lake. He had created a wound on the already injured tongue. The three-eyed purple frog roared, and Emo felt his body turn cold. He realized it was the soul attack. Emo knew that his spirit sense was at golden core state tertiary stage level, but he hadn't thought he could take on the three-eyed purple frog's spirit sense attack. The spirit sense attack could easily turn someone into a mentally disabled person, and it was very hard to recover from. This was why spirit sense recovery pills in the cultivation realm was so rare. The spirit sense attack now, after having been used so many times, would be much, much weaker, but Emo didn't dare to take the risk. He didn't even try blocking it, and just went into the golden page world. The three-eyed purple frog's spirit sense missed. A level 6 spirit beast had some intelligence already. Emo's sudden disappearance made it feel danger. When it reacted, the person appeared in front of it again. This time, the three-eyed purple frog was truly scared. His spirit sense had injured itself. Emo hacked with Zissou again. He didn't intend to kill it. It would be too hard. The three-eyed purple frog wanted to run away, so he turned to escape. Emo had come for the eye. How could he let the three-eyed purple frog escape? The fight reignited, and the lake rumbled. However, the cultivators only cared about the purple flame and the seeds. No one bothered looking the lake water's abnormality. Emo ordered Shadowless to sneak inside the three-eyed purple frog while he attacked the head of the three-eyed purple frog. Chapter 939. Unintentional. Chapter 939. Unintentional. The three-eyed purple frog lost focus the moment Shadowless ambushed it. But this was just for a moment, as it quickly forced Shadowless out. But that brief window of time was enough for Emo. Zissou had already slashed the eye at the top of the three-eyed purple frog's head. Splurge blood splattered everywhere. And the three-eyed purple frog instantly reacted by slamming its head up, headbutting Emo away. Emo spat some blood, but he rejoiced nonetheless. His slash didn't completely cut out the third eye, but it had cut off a third of it. This was enough for Emo. He didn't need a complete cultivation method. He just needed a hint, and he would be able to use the 3-birth chant to create the best cultivation method for him. Emo immediately took out a jade box, flew to that third of an eye, and put it away. The three-eyed purple frog was furious about losing a third of its third eye, but it didn't dare to look for trouble with Emo any longer. It used its fastest speed to quickly disappear under the lake. To the three-eyed purple frog, a third of its third eye was a big loss, but it wasn't lethal. It could still complete the eye through cultivation. Right now, running for its life was the most important thing, as Yi Mo rejoiced and tried to hurry to the lakeside to climb out. At the same moment, a purple flame shot into the bottom of the lake. Simultaneously, a few golden core state cultivators appeared in Yi Mo's spirit sense range. They were coming down without hesitation. Purple flower fire. Yi Mo immediately figured that the purple flower fire must have been forced into the bottom of the lake by those cultivators. Yi Mo didn't intend to fight for it originally, but now that it came to him, there was no reason not to try. So when Yi Mo saw the purple flower flame appear, he didn't even try to spirit control it, as he instead just swept the purple flame with purple rays and brought it into his golden page world. This all happened in an instant. As soon as Yi Mo did this, those few golden core state cultivators appeared on the spot Yi Mo had been before. What happened? There were cultivation essence waves here. Where is the purple flower flame? A golden core state level 9 asked coldly. Those there with him were either at the golden core state peak stage or level 8 and level 9 cultivators. Dong Tianya was there too, but his face was very bleak. Could it be that injured three-eyed purple frog? Another cultivator asked. Dong Tianya sneered. No way, no matter how fast that three-eyed purple frog is. It can't be fast to this extent. It's been less than a second, and there's still cultivation essence waves around. Could there be a golden core state cultivator that can teleport instantaneously? That's not possible, right? One cultivator conjectured. I think I scanned a figure before, but there are so many dead bodies here. I'm not too sure. After saying that, the man immediately started looting the storage rings in the area. And as more and more people joined, they were all gone in no time. And when some golden core state tertiary stages saw that the purple flame was gone, they charged out of the lake wanting to take a purple sunflower seed. Most cultivators did that actually, but only Dong Tianya and two golden core state cultivators kept carefully searching around. However, they too were unable to find anything. Yi Mo immediately felt the rustling of the purple flower flame when he brought it into his golden page world. Despite isolating his hands with cultivation essence, his hands were still almost burnt. Before the purple flower flame could resist, however, Yi Mo immediately took out the mist lotus heart fire and enveloped the flame with it. Immediately, the volatile purple flower flame became very quiet and tame. It didn't want to be bound by Yi Mo, but it didn't dare to charge through the mist lotus heart fire. Seeing this, Yi Mo immediately spat some essence blood on the purple flower flame and started to spirit control it. The flame seemed to know what was going on and was very restless at the beginning, but after a while it completely calmed down. Soon, Yi Mo managed to spirit control the purple flower flame. The purple color also turned a faint yellow. Yi Mo happily stored the purple flower flame in his dantian. Yi Mo knew he had to go out early. Otherwise, if he only exited after all the things had been looted, he would seem the most suspicious indeed. Yi Mo dashed out of the golden page world and found that the fighting was still going on. More and more cultivators were smashed into the lake, before then immediately charging out to rejoin the massive battle royale. Some cultivators knew that they couldn't get a seed, so they just retreated to the lake side. Yi Mo charged out of the lake amidst the cultivators who landed in the lake. There were still more than 10 purple rays flashing through the air. Yi Mo had no intention of fighting over them. However, he had already reaped the biggest reward there. He wanted to greet Guiqifan and company and leave. Guiqifan was with Yan Qi, but they didn't seem to have gotten a purple sunflower seed. Even so, they were still caught up in a battle with 2 other cultivators. Yi Mo was just out to go help when he saw that Dingling was about to be killed. Yi Mo couldn't care about other things and immediately released Sisu at the flying sword striking at Dingling. At the start, when Dingling saw all the purple sunflower seeds, she had just charged up in a mesmerized state. Fei had been her subconscious desire. But when she charged into the crowd of cultivators and saw all the magic artifacts flying in the sky, she knew she had been too careless. She realized that this wasn't something she could get involved in. But just when she wanted to retreat, she saw Yan Qi had offended someone and was being stopped by 2 cultivators. In her desperation, she threw 2 runes at the 2 golden core state cultivators and saved Yan Qi temporarily. However, because her rune injured one of the golden core state level 1, and that cultivator saw that it was a foundation establishment state peak stage woman who injured him, he was furious, and he sent out his flying sword to kill Ding Ling in her despair, could only shut her eyes. She knew she was dead for sure. Yet, at this moment, Yi Mo, who just rose from the bottom of the lake, noticed Ding Ling's situation. Yi Mo used a full-powered attack. Su chopped at the flying sword the very moment it pierced Ding Ling crack. His sword split the flying sword in half. Yi Mo immediately chased up and pulled Ding Ling behind him. "You dare to injure my flying sword? You're asking to die." That golden core state level 1 was furious. At this moment, Ding Ling reacted and opened her eyes. She saw Yi Mo standing in front of her and understood everything. "Thank you, Brother Yi. He almost killed me," Ding Ling uttered with fear. "Wait for me by the lakeside. I will deal with him first." Suddenly, the golden core state opponent sent out a huge pair of scissors. Before they even got near Yi Mo, they brought along with them a ghastly killing intent. Such fearsome scissors. Yi Mo noticed they were a middle-grade spirit artifact. A mere golden core state level 1 could use a middle-grade spirit artifact? Then he had no simple origin. These scissors, having such a bleak killing intent, who knew how many people they had killed? Chapter 940, Powerful Black Net. Chapter 940, Powerful Black Net. The scissors were strong, but the user was too weak. Yi Mo had already shot the Illusion Cloud Essence Binding Strike. Yi Mo didn't attack the Golden Core State Cultivator. He simply charged at the huge pair of scissors. The Golden Core State Level 1 Cultivator was on the same state as Yi Mo, but his Cultivation Essence and Spirit Sense were far inferior. Just with this move, the huge bleak pair of scissors was thrown in the air by Yi Mo. At the same time, Yi Mo grabbed the scissors, removed the Spirit Sense mark on them, and threw them in his ring. The Golden Core State Cultivator's Spirit Sense mark had been removed, so his Spirit Sense sustained injuries. He spat a mouthful of essence blood immediately. His face was full of disbelief. The opponent was just a Golden Core State Level 1 Cultivator too. How could he have taken away so easily his Crocodile Soul Scissors? Yi Mo didn't care. He hacked with Sisu again, easily slicing this Golden Core State Level 1 in half. You dare to kill me?" The Golden Core State Cultivator finally reacted. Yi Mo took the cultivator's ring and let him drop dead into the lake. He was sneering. The guy really had had a sense of superiority. He had been about to kill him when he asked, "You dare to kill me?" Even if the Heavenly Monarch tried to kill him, Yi Mo wouldn't just stand there and do nothing, much less against a Golden Core State Level 1 man. The Golden Core State Level 6 Cultivator who had fought with Guiqifan saw Yi Mo kill the Golden Core State Level 1 Cultivator and immediately roared in rage. He left Guiqifan and charged at Yi Mo. Before he had gotten to Yi Mo, he had already withdrawn his rod magic artifact. A blow of swirling cultivation essence charged at Yi Mo's chest. As he came near Yi Mo, the spiraling cultivation essence chi grew stronger and stronger. Yi Mo didn't feel much, but Ding Ling had already been pushed back by this force. Eventually, she realized she had no option but to wait by the riverside and watch nervously. She began to worry for Yi Mo. Yi Mo didn't even move. When the rod magic artifact got to him, he hacked with Sisu again and instantly shattered the pressure the spiraling force had wrought. This Golden Core State Level 6 cultivator was very surprised to see that his magic artifact hadn't caused Yi Mo any trouble. However, he soon understood Yi Mo was no ordinary cultivator. His face was cold as he weaved a few hand signs. The rod magic artifact split up in midair, and countless dark rays came out from inside towards Yi Mo. Yi Mo's expression looked serious. He could tell that these dark rays would follow him wherever he went. This cultivator hadn't even used this move with Guichifan, but he had used it on him immediately. The Golden Core State Level 1 cultivator he had just killed must have not been ordinary. Yi Mo had never seen such dark rays before, but he didn't take long to react. He swept Sisu again, as he threw the illusion cloud exert will strike. The sword rays that Sisu had shot hit the countless amount of dark rays accurately. But before Yi Mo could breathe easy, he found that those dark rays hadn't dissipated. Instead, they had split, and they were charging at him again. However, Yi Mo immediately realized that although there were more dark rays, they posed a much lesser threat. Before Yi Mo could think too much, he immediately built a cultivation essence barrier. The dark rays clashed on the barrier and dissolved in it. Yet soon, the cultivation essence barrier got ripped apart. Yi Mo was shook. He wanted to run away. He didn't know what these dark rays were, but they were surrounding him and gradually forming a black net. Yi Mo was in pain. The net was getting tighter and tighter. Soon, he would get smashed into pieces by the net. Such a powerful thing. Yi Mo pierced the black net with Sisu. Yi Mo soon realized that although Sisu could cut open the black net, it welded together again rapidly. After a few moments, Yi Mo noticed his clothes were being ripped apart. As the black net gradually shrunk, he would get squeezed into pulp. The Golden Core State Level 6 cultivator saw this. He had a hateful sneer on his face. He took out a flying sword, but he didn't release it. Instead, he charged at Yi Mo's arms with it. At that moment, Yi Mo couldn't hide the heaven fire anymore. He released the mist lotus heart fire, which covered the surface of his body. The black net was immediately burned to nothing, and only some pungent smell remained in the air. He had never seen such a kind of black net before. If he hadn't had a heaven flame, he wouldn't have even known what to do. Also, Yi Mo knew that his illusion cloud strikes were still very immature. If they had been stronger, they could have completely dissipated the dark rays. Yi Mo knew he couldn't show the mist lotus heart fire, so the instant he burned away the black net, he hit the heaven flame. Even so, it had still attracted some attention. A few Golden Core State cultivators looked at Yi Mo, but when they saw it was just two Golden Core State masters fighting, they immediately lost interest. The moment the black net got burned away, the Golden Core State Level 6 cultivator reacted. He pointed at Yi Mo in shock. "You have a heaven dash. How could Yi Mo let him finish the sentence?" Yi Mo had already sent the illusion cloud whirlpool strike, which hacked him into many pieces, and threw him into the lake. Yi Mo noticed that the rod had turned into an ordinary rod again. His spirit sense scanned inside the rod and found it to be empty. That dark rays were probably one-use move. Yi Mo put on a coat and found Guichifan and Yan Qi looking at him in shock. Meanwhile, the cultivator fighting with Yan Qi had left. At this moment, the last seed had been taken, and soon people stopped fighting. The slaughterfest had ended. Yi Mo landed by the lakeside, so Guichifan and Yan Qi followed him. Guichifan came up to Yi Mo and saluted him with his fists. "Thank you, Brother Yi, for saving Martial Sister Ding. If you have any demands, I dash." Yi Mo waved his hand and smiled. "It's no big deal. Don't worry about it." However, Guichifan said worriedly, "Brother Yi, the two Golden Core State cultivators you killed have no simple origin. They are from the 6-star Earth Demon sect. The Golden Core State Level 6 man was called Gui Cheng, and the Golden Core State Level 1 master, Chai Kong was the disciple of the sect's hollow spirit state elder. You need to be careful from now on. Yi Mo didn't care at all. He wasn't from the South Peace State. Moreover, even if he went to the South Peace State later on, he didn't think he would happen to meet people from the Earth Demon sect. Gui Qifan saw that Yi Mo didn't care, and continued, I didn't think Brother Yi could deal with the demonic soul-binding ray. However, you need to be careful. Gu Yicheng had just learned, so it wasn't very powerful. It can only be used once. But if you meet high-level cultivators from the Earth Demon sect, you need to be careful. Their demonic soul-binding ray is deadly. Hearing this, Yi Mo frowned. If that was the case, then he really needed to be careful. Chapter 941. Departure. Chapter 941. Departure. Ding Ling approached Yi Mo again to thank him for saving her life. Yi Mo knew that the Herb Valley was about to close in about half a month, so he wanted to give them some pills. He had a good impression of the three. Yi Mo took out 4 jade bottles and gave 1 bottle to each of them, but to Ding Ling he gave 2. 1 bottle contained a cultivation-increasing pill. Ding Ling was about to reach the Golden Core state, and she had come to the valley precisely to look for a stroke of fortune for that. Yi Mo had quite a lot of such pills, so it didn't matter if he gave her 1. Even in a 5-star sect, it wouldn't be that easy to get a cultivation-increasing pill, though. Yan Shi was about to open it, but Yi Mo stopped him. Look at it when you get back. I'll be going now. This is goodbye. Huh? Brother Yi, you're going? Ding Ling had a good impression of Yi Mo. Now that Yi Mo was about to leave, she was a little sad and asked, How about you come look for herbs with us? The Herb Valley will be closing in half a month. Yi Mo shook his head and wanted to say something when a voice sounded by him. Friend, I'm Wang Pu, 7-star sect Tianxian sect's disciple. Yi Mo was confused. He didn't know this Wang Pu at all. How come a sect member from a big sect was coming to talk to him? Even Gui Qifan and company were bewildered. Seeing how Yi Mo didn't speak, Wang Pu saluted with his fist politely and continued, I saw that Brother Yi could even break through the demonic soul-binding ray, and I wish to be friends with you. I hope you can excuse my sudden approach. Yi Mo immediately became wary. He sensed that something more than that was up. A Golden Core State Level 8 cultivator came to call him brother? What Yi Mo was worried about the most was that someone might have been watching his fight with Gu Yicheng. Did this person see him use his heaven fire? Yi Mo wasn't some 1,000-year-old scheming master, but he had experienced a lot. His sixth sense told him that Wang Pu didn't have pure intentions in approaching him. Yi Mo smiled plainly and saluted with his fists. Just some small tricks. Wang Pu shook his head. Brother Yi, I think you're too humble. Although Brother Yi used a hidden means, I can still feel the scorching dash. Emo's heart sunk. But this Wang Pu then suddenly changed the topic after saying the word scorching. I just know Brother Yi's surname is Yi. What is your full name? What's the meaning of this, Wang Pu, before Yi Mo could answer? A cold voice sounded. Yi Mo looked coldly at Xiu Shui and Wang Pu, and there was a sliver of disgust in his eyes. How could he not realize now that Wang Pu was there due to this woman? Yi Mo ignored the two and saluted with his fist to Gui Qifan and company. Brother Gua, Yan Qi, Martial Sister Ding, we'll meet again. Then Yi Mo stood on his kitchen knife and left. Wang Pu looked at the direction Yi Mo left, and his face was green. He didn't think a mere Golden Core State Level 1 would dare to be so rude to him, but he didn't chase up. He had marked Yi Mo with his spirit sense already. He didn't need to chase Yi Mo in front of everyone right away. When Xiu Shui saw Yi Mo look at her with a sliver of disgust, she felt very uncomfortable despite believing that Yi Mo was using this as a method to get close to her. She thought for a moment, and then started chasing after him on her flying sword without even telling Yang Ro. Yi Mo believed that if he flew at full speed, even Xiu Shui wouldn't be able to catch up, but with so many people there watching, he really didn't know why Xiu Shui was doing this. Hence, Yemo stopped and just stared coldly at Qiu Shui. Qiu Shui seemed to know Yemo would stop and looked calmly at Yemo. You gave me such a precious pill. Perhaps you knew I wouldn't be able to reject it. And dash, after pausing for a moment, Qiu Shui saw that Yemo didn't have any intentions of speaking, so she could only continue, and indeed, that pill is very important to me. So I'll agree to one request of yours as long as it's not too over the line. Tell me, agree to my request? Yemo immediately realized that this woman was still thinking so highly of herself, thinking that he was trying to catch her attention. He gave her such a precious pill. Yemo only gave them some condensed red pills and azurine pills. Those were the lowest quality golden core state pills he had. The condensed red pill could be bought. So since he was desperate for Ning Qingxue and the others' whereabouts, he gave 4 azurine pills in his desperation as well. But even then, he had nearly 100 of them. However, this woman thought it was some high-level pill. Wasn't she from a 7-star sect? How come an azurine pill was so precious to her? But then Yemo immediately realized why. Level 5 spirit herbs weren't abundant even for 7-star sects, and sect members would need sect contribution points to get something. Moreover, the pills he gave were special grade. That was something only pill kings could achieve. Having gotten so many high-level spirit herbs in the valley and being a pill king, Yemo hadn't thought that much about it. Yemo wasn't going to be low now and ask for her to give the pills back, but he still felt unhappy after realizing it. I already asked what I wanted to ask, and I don't need your help with anything else. I'm going now. I just hope you don't keep following me. Then Yemo got on Zisu and disappeared in front of her. Yang Ro had also followed over by now and saw Qiu Shui in a daze, so she asked immediately, Sister Shui, what happened? Why did that guy leave? Did you make it clear that what he's doing is ridiculous? Qiu Shui shook her head. She didn't know what was going through Yemo's head anymore, but it didn't seem like he was playing hard to get. After Yemo left, Guiqifan and the others also left. Marshal brother, do you think that Qiu Shui would give Brother Yi a hard time? Yan Qi asked. Guiqifan shook his head. I've heard about that Qiu Shui. She doesn't like killing. She must have some other business with Brother Yi. Besides, even if she wanted to do anything, with Brother Yi being capable of killing Gu Yicheng, I don't think he would be afraid of her. Ding Ling then took out 2 jade bottles and opened them. Let me see what pills Brother Yi gave me. Ha! What's wrong? Guiqifan and Yan Qi immediately came over. It's a top-grade cultivation increasing pill and a bottle of special-grade condensed red pills. This. To a 5-star sect member, these 2 pills were absurd. Guiqifan and Yan Qi also immediately opened the bottles Yemo gave them and said, I also got 12 condensed red pills. We owe him big time. Yan Qi murmured to himself. Guiqifan put the bottle away and said, Put these things away. Don't speak about them. Brother Yi has no simple origin. We actually owe him more for saving Marshall's sister. So let's just keep it in our hearts. Yes, Yan Qi and Dingling agreed. The 3 sped away even faster. Yemo stopped not far away, changed all his clothes, and washed himself. He had experienced a lot, and this wasn't the first time someone planted a spirit sense mark on him. If he wasn't concerned that Wang Pu might look for trouble with Guiqifan and company, he would set up a trap formation here and kill Wang Pu. But he knew that Guiqifan and company had been there when Wang Pu talked to him. So if he died, they would be suspected. Indeed, not long after Yemo left, Wang Pu appeared and said with a green face, Cunning brat. Chapter 942. Insolent. Chapter 942. Insolent, the herb valley was so big that Yemo couldn't even tell where he was. He just kept going north and collecting herbs along the way. This desert herb valley was really a natural garden. Even though Yi Mo didn't pass by anywhere special, he still found large quantities of level 3 and level 4 herbs, as well as a few level 5 ones. Although he was flying north, Yi Mo subconsciously still avoided the way he came from. He really feared that black mist. That thing was too scary. If he were more powerful, perhaps he would go study it, but now he just wanted to stay as far away from it as possible. On the 7th day of Yi Mo's travel, Yi Mo picked up on some cultivation essence waves with his spirit sense. Yi Mo didn't want to care too much about it, but he also wanted to see who was fighting. Thinking about this, he scanned his spirit sense over immediately. But when Yi Mo saw that it was a golden core state peak stage cultivator fighting a woman who had her face covered, he immediately turned in their direction and charged over. His heart was beating rapidly. He knew that golden core state peak stage. It was the strongest cultivator from back at the Spirit Marrow Pond. Yi Mo saw with his own eyes how the man got at least 100 spirit crystals. How could he let this opportunity go? Not to mention, he had almost died to that man before. Yi Mo made his cultivation level seem to be at Foundation Establishment State Level 7 again. He knew that the Golden Core State Peak Stage knew he was at Level 7, so he wouldn't suspect anything. The two both saw Yi Mo come over, and both of them seemed to be interested in this Foundation Establishment State Level 7. It was understandable that the Golden Core State Peak Stage man would look at him with fascination. Yi Mo even suspected that if he left immediately, the man would leave behind that woman to go capture him instead. However, he had never seen the masked woman before, so why would she look at him with shock too? Seeing that Yi Mo had no intentions of leaving, the two started fighting again. The cultivation essence rattled. Explosions kept sounding in the air, and the fighting grew more intense with Yi Mo's arrival, as though both sides wanted to end the other party quickly. Yi Mo checked the woman's power level. She was a Golden Core State Level 7 cultivator, but being able to fight such an intense battle with a Golden Core State Peak Stage cultivator, it clearly meant that she had a lot of various methods. But Yi Mo's battle sense was acute enough to tell that if he didn't intervene, it wouldn't be long before that Golden Core State Peak Stage man won. Yi Mo didn't intervene, though. The most important thing were the 100 or so spirit crystals that Golden Core State Peak Stage cultivator had. That was a huge fortune. With enough spirit crystals, Yi Mo would be able to reach Golden Core State Middle Stage in a short time. That would make him really happy. At the same time, Yi Mo was also very clear that he was no match for this Golden Core State Peak Stage fighter yet. Seeing the two fight an intense battle, Yi Mo started laying out formations around them. Seeing a Foundation Establishment State Level 7 set up formation flags around them and throwing down top-grade spirit stones, the two Golden Core State cultivators thought it funny. What use could it have even if this small cultivator laid some formations? The formations that a Foundation Establishment State Level 7 kid set down wouldn't even be able to block one strike from a Golden Core State cultivator. In their eyes, Yi Mo was being insolent. Rumble, right when the formation was set up, the masked woman was smashed away. However, she didn't fly far before smashing into the defensive formation Yi Mo had just set up, shaking it a little. The formation Yi Mo had set up activated with a shining yellow light, but that was it. The defensive formation didn't break as it sealed the woman and peak stage cultivator inside of it with a faint yellow light. The masked woman was dazed. She even forgot to wipe the blood from her mouth as she looked dazedly at Yi Mo. You set up a level 3 formation? You're a level 3 formation master? Yi Mo sneered. A level 3 formation was nothing. If he had the time and materials, he could even set up a level 4 formation. He had also set up a stealth attack formation. That Golden Core State Peak Stage also put on a serious look. He didn't care about Yi Mo's Foundation Establishment State power, but the level 3 formation made him become more careful. He believed that Yi Mo wouldn't be able to stop him regardless, but he didn't reach the golden core state peak stage by simply trusting in assumptions. "What do you want?" the masked woman asked Yi Mo coldly. Yi Mo smiled plainly. "I have no conflict with you. I'll open the formation and you can go, but I have some problems with him. I need to take something from him." Yi Mo's words were very funny, but the masked woman didn't laugh. Someone who can easily set up level 3 formations wasn't simple. Her master told her that she shouldn't easily offend a formation master. Clearly, Yi Mo was such a master. She also thought of when Yi Mo killed someone beyond his level and didn't look down on Yi Mo at all. She nodded to Yi Mo and walked out of the defensive formation. This time, the formation didn't do anything, meaning that it was completely under the control of this Foundation establishment state cultivator. Seeing her leave, Yi Mo didn't care. Even if he didn't use formations, he wasn't scared of a golden core state level 7. Even if he couldn't win, he could run away. "You've got balls. I haven't gone looking for you yet, but you dare to come for me," the golden core state peak stage sneered. Yi Mo smiled. "You haven't looked for me? I think it's just that you couldn't find me." Without question, this golden core state peak stage cultivator must have been looking everywhere for him. "Give me the magic artifact that contains the spirit marrow. I promise you can leave after that. Other than this, I won't touch anything of yours." Unexpectedly, this golden core state peak stage didn't attack Yi Mo. "Okay, give me your storage ring. And I promise too that if it satisfies me, I'll let you go," Yi Mo replied calmly. As he said that, Yi Mo threw out another formation flag. This immediately clouded the environment inside the formation. The golden core state peak stage man couldn't even see Yi Mo's face clearly anymore, and his spirit sense also became weak. The cultivator was shook. He waved his hand, and a colored flag appeared in his hand, which he then threw out immediately. The small flag turned 10 meters big in an instant, and the sky became ghastly under its influence. Yi Mo subconsciously shivered at the change. Yi Mo clearly saw the cultivator use only a hammer-like magic artifact when fighting the masked woman before. Yi Mo couldn't help but wonder why both Gui Cheng and this man used ordinary moves and magic artifacts to fight other people, but immediately took out their most powerful assets to fight him. He appeared as only a Foundation establishment state level 7 right now. Yi Mo immediately threw out tens of formation flags as well as Sisu. He knew that it would be suicide to compete in cultivation essence against a golden core state peak stage opponent. It would be stupid to not utilize the formation right now. If he wanted to win, he would need the formation to suppress the man and use Shadowless to slowly torture him. Shadowless had killed a golden core state peak stage before, so Yi Mo wasn't too worried. And this situation was actually much better than when he killed Li Changsheng. He was only at the Foundation establishment state before, but now he was at the golden core state and had formations to help him. After throwing out the flag, the sky rumbled as tens of yellow rays shot out of the formation, charging into the flag. The cloudiness in the formation was getting worse and worse. The golden core state peak stage was shook when his flag was stopped. His flag was made out of living souls, and although it had only just been completed, it was capable of stealing souls. He didn't expect a Foundation establishment state would be able to suppress it with a formation. Then suddenly, countless purple sword rays slashed at his face. The masked woman looked dazedly at the formation and the countless explosions inside of it, but she couldn't see anything. Since when was this Foundation establishment state cultivator this strong? Chapter 943, Martial Sister. Chapter 943, Martial Sister. As the purple sword ray swooped down, the golden core state cultivator immediately realized that Yi Mo wasn't at Foundation establishment state level 7. No matter how much of a prodigy a Foundation establishment state level 7 he could be, He wouldn't be able to use a sword ray of that caliber. However, it wasn't the time to think about that. He spat some essence blood and summoned the flag back with it. It got stopped by the formation at first, but due to the burning essence blood, it only took an instant to bring it back. Then, the flag stopped Yemo's purple sword rays. The purple sword rays and the flag clashed together, creating a screeching sound that was absolutely unbearable. Yemo felt his cultivation essence rustle, and he almost spat out some blood. But the flag's effects were far from done. Soon, the screeching sound started to summon something, as though it came from hell. Yemo's head was dizzy. Yemo's soul was strong, so he immediately could tell what was going on. It was the main effect of the flag. The flag was trying to summon his soul into the formation. This golden core state cultivator was underestimating his formation too much. Yemo threw out a few more formation flags, and Zisu shone even brighter. Countless yellow light ray got activated from within the formation, and they swept the flag again. This time, Yemo had used the illusion cloud essence binding strike. With Yemo's current power, it could only bind the cultivation essence of a golden core state peak stage cultivator for a brief moment. But that was enough. Shadowless had already made a move. Shadowless had cooperated with Yemo countless times, and it was very proficient at such things. Yemo was sure that if he hadn't had the formation, it wouldn't have even been easy to stop the flag, and much less bind the cultivation essence of this golden core state peak stage cultivator. The golden core state peak stage master suddenly noticed his cultivation essence had paused for a moment. He immediately realized things weren't good. He had been in countless battles, and for the first time, he feared Yemo. It seemed like this cultivator had all sorts of undetectable means. The golden core state cultivator wanted to run away and take back his flag, but then he felt his meridians ache. It was as though large amounts of essence blood were being instantly devoured. He was shook. He realized this was Yemo's lethal blow. If he stayed now, he would die for sure. The cultivator abandoned the flag, wrapped Shadowless with all of his cultivation essence, and tried to dash away. This was the first time that Shadowless got covered with cultivation essence. If the cultivator had wanted to kick him out, he had other means to deal with it, but he also wasn't able to break free from the binding at that moment. The golden core state cultivator wanted to run away as far as possible, but he forgot about Yemo's defense formation in his worry. Rumble, the golden core state cultivator, ran into the formation, and the formation shook. The golden core state cultivator forced himself to calm down. He had finally understood why Yemo had such confidence. His cultivation essence wasn't that far from his, and he had all sorts of means. The golden core state man knew that the most important step was to escape from this formation. He had never thought that a formation that he hadn't taken seriously would be a matter of life and death for him. This cultivator just took out his flying sword. He realized he wasn't able to attack the formation, yet when he saw endless purple sword rays coming at him, this forced him to defend himself against the attacks, instead of hacking open the formation. However, his cultivation essence had been letting Shadowless slip away, as he had used it on running. However, now that he had to use even more to defend himself against Yemo's attacks, Shadowless instantly broke free and started to devour his Dantian. The cultivator's flying sword was thrown in the air, and it got devoured by Yemo's purple sword rays. In his eyes, there was endless regret. It was too late for him. The purple sword rays brought shower of blood, and the next moment, the cultivator started to sag and dry out. Yemo took away the flag and the storage ring. He could now breathe at ease. He didn't look into the ring yet. There also was a masked woman outside watching. The masked woman had seen countless explosions, and then the shaking of the formation. She was just about to go and check when the formation suddenly disappeared. That Foundation Establishment State Level 8 cultivator appeared before her, but the Golden Core State Peak Stage Master was gone. The masked woman saw Yi Mo come out alone, putting away the formation flags. After a while, she asked hesitantly, "Did you kill him? You actually killed him?" "Yes, I killed him." Yi Mo then looked at the woman. He had never seen her, but she seemed to have seen him. Yi Mo asked casually, "Do you know me? Have you seen me before?" The woman nodded. "Yes, I've seen you once, and I know you're from the Zhengyuan sword sect. You killed Li Bison outside the sect." Yi Mo was shook. He didn't know that there had been a masked woman watching on the side when killed Li Bison. If she had wanted to kill him at the time, it would have been rather easy. The woman realized what Yi Mo was thinking and said calmly, "If I had wanted to kill you at the time, I would have, but I didn't." "Who are you? How do you know Li Bison?" Yi Mo asked coldly. The woman's tone grew even calmer. "I know Li Bison because I'm also from the Zhengyuan sword sect. As a member of that sect, what do you think I would do when facing the killer of a core disciple?" Yi Mo suddenly laughed. "That's old news. Other than Li Bison, I've also killed Ji Chongsheng." Yi Mo waved his hand, and Zisu appeared again. He said calmly, "If you want to fight, then hurry up." The masked woman was dazed, but she didn't have any intentions of fighting Yi Mo. After a long while, she murmured, "You could actually kill Li Chongsheng?" "That's right. You just killed a Golden Core State Peak Stage cultivator." "Did you know his surname is Li?" Yi Mo asked strangely. Theoretically, other than Li Yuyan and him, no one else knew that Ji Chongsheng was actually Li Chongsheng. The woman didn't reply, but she bowed to Yi Mo and said, "Thank you for killing Li Chongsheng. I'm Fu Yishuang. You've probably heard of me." Fu Yishuang? Yi Mo had actually heard of this name. He studied her and asked hesitantly, "I've heard of this name. Aren't you the Qi Gathering State Hall of Fame's #1? How did you become a Golden Core State cultivator?" Fu Yishuang smiled. "When I left the sect 2 years ago, I was already at Foundation Establishment State Level 7. I haven't been back for 2 years. When I reached Golden Core State Level 1, I wanted to follow Li Bison and kill him, but I saw your battle with him." Yi Mo realized that this Fu Yishuang had also had an enmity with Li Bison, so she didn't dare to go back to the sect. Strictly speaking, that woman was his martial sister. Chapter 944. Exchange. Chapter 944. Exchange, but Yi Mo didn't have any good impression of the sword sect at all, much less of this martial sister. When he was fighting with Li Bison, he was on the lower hand, yet this woman didn't come out, which meant that his life was worth nothing to her. This woman clearly only cared about herself. Yi Mo immediately lost interest in continuing his talk with her, seeing that Yi Mo wanted to leave. Fu Yishuang suddenly said, "Since you killed Li Chongsheng, you probably obtained the illusion cloud 6 strikes, right?" "I know he had it." "What are you trying to say?" Yi Mo's tone went cold. He didn't really care about the illusion cloud 6 strikes, but since this woman was asking about it, she might have some plans for it. Fu Yishuang saw Yi Mo go alert and immediately said, "You don't need to worry. The reason why I care about it so much is because it belongs to my Fu family." Hearing this, Yi Mo understood why she had wanted to kill Li Bison. When he obtained those last 3 strikes of the illusion cloud 6 strikes, he knew that the illusion cloud didn't belong to the Li family. But it seemed the Fu family's illusion cloud wasn't complete either, so it probably didn't belong to them either. A few centuries ago, the Fu family got the illusion cloud, but we were slaughtered by the Li family. The only purpose the descendants of the Fu family have in mind is to get the illusion cloud back and to get revenge. Fu Yishuang's tone was calm, as she explained. Yi Mo didn't care, so he said, "You haven't been back to your sect for 2 years. There's a lot of things you probably don't know." It said that they were going to unite with Hidden Sword. And I also heard that the Ping Yaoli family was annihilated by the sect. Perhaps finding the illusion cloud 6 strikes is all there's left for you to worry about. As for the revenge, the sect already took care of it for you. Huh? Fu Yishuang was stunned and reacted only after a long while, so there are some things that don't need to be done. Huh? Yi Mo didn't speak as he just watched her. She soon reacted and looked fervently at Yi Mo. This means that if you give the illusion cloud to me, I don't need to keep living for the Fu family blood oath. Yi Mo said plainly, "You're right, and I do have it indeed, but I'm not related to you, nor are we friends. Why should I give the illusion cloud to you?" Fu Yishuang was at a loss for words. She said hesitantly after a while, "But when you killed Li Bison before, I didn't attack you during that time. The reason why you didn't attack was because you knew he didn't have the illusion cloud 6 strikes. Secondly, you felt threatened by me. If I can kill a false core state Li Bison, I can heavily injure you too. You had just reached the golden core state, and you couldn't afford to sustain any injuries. Therefore, I don't owe you anything. Not to mention, when Li Bison was about to kill me, and I had no strength to retaliate, you probably wouldn't have come to help me if I hadn't taken care of it myself. You would have only used the chance to kill Li Bison. You wouldn't care about my life or death. Am I wrong?" Fu Yishuang was speechless, and she didn't argue. That was the reality. Even if Yi Mo was about to get killed, she wouldn't come out and help. Seeing this, Yi Mo sneered. "So if we're talking about owing anyone anything, it is you who owe me. Even if I didn't help you kill Li Bison on purpose, would you have been able to beat a golden core state peak stage like him in the end? If I hadn't appeared, you would have gotten heavily injured even if you hadn't died. And actually, I must say that if I hadn't come, you would have died for sure. I won't explain why in detail, but in this perspective, you owe me your life." Fu Yishuang looked down. She didn't believe what Yi Mo said, but Yi Mo had helped her indeed. Yi Mo could tell she didn't believe him, but he didn't care. "You owe me, yet you want me to give you the illusion cloud for free. Don't you think that's ridiculous? If you think you can rob the illusion cloud from me, then give it a try." Yi Mo could even kill someone at the golden core state peak stage. There was no way Fu Yishuang would fight him with her life right now. "In that case, I'll be leaving." Yi Mo was about to release Sisu. "Wait." Fu Yishuang stopped Yi Mo. If Yi Mo left, where would she go find the illusion cloud 6 strikes? Seeing Yi Mo stop, Fu Yishuang pulled down her face veil and said, "I still have some looks. If you give the illusion cloud to me." Yi Mo was dazed at her words. He really didn't care about the illusion cloud 6 strikes, as he had the 9 strikes which he had improved based on it. The reason why he was being so tough was because Fu Yishuang, having been in the Herb Valley for so long, she must have gotten some herbs. He wanted her to bring it up herself. The basic rule to business was that the other side would only give you the best offer if you didn't want to do the deal. But what Fu Yishuang was thinking was that the herbs she had might be precious, but they weren't nearly as precious as the illusion cloud 6 strikes. Besides, Yi Mo must have obtained a lot of herbs too. If she couldn't get back the illusion cloud 6 strikes, the blood oath would block her from ever reaching immortal ascension. If it wasn't that Yi Mo was too strong, she would really want to kill Yi Mo and take it. She couldn't beat Yi Mo, however, nor did she have any valuable items. She even owed him too. The only thing she had was her virgin body. Fu Yishuang's face was a little pale, perhaps due to always wearing a veil. But even so, Yi Mo had to admit she was beautiful. Her eyes were very big, making Yi Mo think of Yang Ro. However, she was prettier than her. Yi Mo believed even Xiu Shui might not be as pretty as Fu Yishuang. But even then, Yi Mo had no intentions for her. He sighed. He felt that it wasn't worth it for Fu Yishuang to go so far for the illusion cloud's 6 strikes. Yi Mo suddenly lost interest in taking her fortunes. This woman was living for the hatred of the Fu family, and this illusion cloud. That was too tiring of a way to live in Yi Mo's eyes. Yi-Mo took out the Illusion Cloud 6 Strikes Jade Slip and gave it to her. The Illusion Cloud is in here, but it's incomplete. It's missing 3 strikes. Even if you cultivate it, it can only be a sword technique for before the hollow spirit state. After that, it will be lacking. Then he took out Zisu and dashed away. Although he pitied her, he didn't give the 9 strikes to her. If she had helped with killing Li Bison, he would, but instead she had just watched. It was already very generous of him to be giving her the Illusion Cloud 6 strikes. Fu Yishuang was dazed. She didn't think that when she took off her veil, Yi-Mo would give it to her for free. Why? Did he think she was ugly? Fu Yishuang was rather confident about her looks. She didn't understand why Yi-Mo did what he did. She shook her head and stopped thinking about it. She checked the Illusion Cloud 6 Strikes Jade Slip, and it was the real deal indeed. Fu Yishuang rejoiced. She had worked so hard and finally gotten the Illusion Cloud 6 Strikes back for the Fu family. You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.